Let me tell you something, Ace. Get in that corner, dunce. Go ahead. Make my day. Wait. Body. Whoa, damn it. Body, go in the corner. That's all. Would you mind going in the corner, Mr. Orton? Okay. He's a little afraid. Are you a happy person now? Huh? Sit down. Ladies first.
This is Big Beef, and you're tuned in to Sit Down Marks with AJ, Dirty Bird, and you know him, Primo. Check it out.
Welcome, everybody. Episode number 35 of the Sit Down Marks podcast, presented by Coastland Apparel. Use promo code BIRDTV for 15% off of your order. What's going on, guys?
I'm wearing my old glasses.
Why?
That's all I got is I'm wearing my old glasses.
Like, they're kind of Buddy Holly-ish.
A little bit. I lost my other one. I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
That was the look I was going for when I bought them. I was like, I want to look as dorky as humanly possible. And they're like, well, one, too late. Two, here, wear these on your stupid face. And I was like, okay, this makes sense.
Do you want to destroy my sweater?
Only as you walk away.
Gonna take a lot to take me away from you.
It's a different song.
That's awful. That's Weezer.
Weezer did cover that.
Yeah, they
I know,
did
but
it
doesn't make it a good song.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in and downloading. Let me introduce my pod of marks. My friends here helping to spread the good word of wrestling. Let me bring to you first. Welcome back, the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme himself, editor and producer, back up to full strength here soon. Welcome back, Primo.
Woo!
We missed you, sucker.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Back.
Thank you. I know you all missed me out there in Markland. I am here, and I am just normal Primo right now, no face paint. So sorry to the masses, but you do have to see my beautiful face today and hear this voice.
We'll let you slide since you're still coming back up to par here. But glad to have you back, man. We missed you last week. We held the fort down for you with Adam. Thank you for tuning in and chatting along with us.
Y'all did great, by the way. It was a great show, and
we tried to beat you.
Y'all did a couple great impressions of me. It was really good.
We still hit our marks.
Yeah.
I
saw that.
Yeah. Show went on as normal. AJ just he tried to be Primo as best as possible.
It was so funny.
Kudos to the only babyface left, straight out of your mama's kitchen, assistant editor and producer of the show, and sometimes Primo when he has to be. AJ, welcome, brother. Welcome.
Oh, hi, Marks. Yes, I'm taking on a new role as Primo Jr.
Primo alternate.
Yeah, Primo number 2. Just in case of emergencies, like I've got the cadence all down and worked out.
Oh my gosh!
That's right.
Oh my gosh! See, look at me go.
It was hilarious, man. It was hilarious. The spots were impeccable. Like when I delivered them, I couldn't wait to see how AJ was going to respond. Like, it was all normal for me. You know, I was just doing my shit.
You're just doing what you normally do.
Yeah. So it was fun. So, hey, but listen, guys, Beef's in the headlines, man. Our boy just signed with Major League Wrestling, MLW. He's going to debut this Saturday night at the 2300 Arena. That's right, the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Famous ECW Cathedral right there. It would only be right that we got to bring in Beef here because we're going to talk about him a lot in the show today. So, Beef, bring us in.
It's the Beefster here, and I'm telling you, you better turn into the Sit Down Marks podcast with AJ, Dirty Bird, and Primo. And if you don't, Beef's going to have to hit you with that beefy bomb. tune in, folks. They won't disappoint you.
Of beef.
Before the bomb of beef. Well, I tell you what, man, I'm excited. He is finally getting signed with a bigger company here. A lot more eyes are going to be on him, man. Let me tell you what kind of guys he could be wrestling here. The Von Erich family, La Parka, Hammer
Yes.
there. Fatu, I think, is still going to be there. Might be going somewhere else. I've heard Davey Richards is there, which he just wrestled Davey Richards too. So maybe Davey gave him the rub there. So I'm still can't wait to see that match. It hasn't come out yet. So but big stuff here for Beef, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. Congrats, Beef. Us here on the pod, we are super happy for you. And remember the little people when you're big and famous.
Yes, just
That's
like
right.
we will when we are also. We're not.
Also, two guys I want to mention, former pod guest Ishmael Vaughn wrestled on AEW Dark last night.
Sure
he wrestled
did.
in a tag
Yes,
team
he
match
did.
against the Acclaimed. Pretty
Awesome.
sweet. Pretty
Congrats
awesome.
to Ish. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
Look at our boys doing things.
Our pod is just a rocket ship to all these wrestlers.
Yeah, so those keep in mind, like us, if you want to get signed, come to us first.
Come talk to us first.
And we'll send you
right.
off into the.
We'll put the word
we've
out.
already, yeah. I mean, there's two right there. I mean,
I mean, clearly somebody's listening to the Sit Down March podcast.
Yes,
Right.
talent scouts are listening to
Right.
us.
So since they are listening, I want to thank everyone listening on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, and SportsWire online radio Fridays at 6:45, right before the Thomas Bryce Show and throughout the week. Yeah, if you like the pod, please tell a friend and leave us a great 5-star review on whatever platform you listen to. We really do appreciate it. Go check out our TeePublic Sit Down Marks store right now. They got some deals going on for some Christmas gifts coming up. So big things happening in the Sit Down Marks world. All right, boys.
It is almost Christmas, isn't it? No, it's not. It's not even Thanksgiving yet.
Man, it's November, man. So we're already getting ready over here. So, but 87 days away from today is the Royal Rumble, my friends. We'll be sitting right about now. We'll be sitting in the dome getting ready for that first Royal Rumble match, man.
I'm so excited. And I don't know if I've told you guys this, but this will be my first pay-per-view ever.
Wow.
I've never been to a pay-per-view before, so I'm super, super excited.
AJ, you and me both.
Look at us being goddamn rookies.
Ton of pay-per-views. I've been to 2 years ago. I went to the Survivor Series to complete my Big Four run, but this Royal Rumble will be my second one. I was at the one that that Sheamus won in St. Louis a while back. So
Nice.
Well,
Well, pretty soon us baby marks are going to be all gross.
that's right. We'll be big adult marks.
they are. All right, I picked this one specially out for Primo here today. It's time for the pop of the pod. Let's roll, Primo. Well, how many times you used to pop to that song?
I love it so much. That's I still do as an adult, for sure. The whole entrance, that specific iteration of the song reminds me of the debut. Raw as Jericho, standing there with the arms out, and then they do the shot, and he's interrupting the Rock. The whole thing is just Jericho is just so cool.
It's one of my favorite debuts of all time.
Me
is
too.
when Jericho.
The Millennium Man, all that good stuff, man. Small little technical difficulties there. Apologies, but
It's fine. Like it
it's
never
fine.
happened.
I mean, hey, we're live, pal. Right? As Mean Gene said.
We had to-
Primo, this
We're
day in
live,
wrestling
Mike.
history, man. Let's roll.
This day in wrestling history, November 3rd.
Whose game is it?
Primo's game, baby! 205 days. That's right. I surpassed 200
Whoa.
days as your reigning, defending, sit-down marks champion. I'm not out of breath yet, but I still got the championship. This day in wrestling history, November 3rd. That's today for all you marks out there.
You wrote whose game is it on your site?
That's right. It's his. It's his. He's got to defend it this month. The Survivor Series is this
Series.
month. So
I will have my second title defense.
Second title defense. Yay!
So this you'll like this, AJ. 1988, They Live is released in theaters.
Yes! I wish I would have watched that one this week.
Bubblegum.
Roddy Piper's
Kicking
first
ass.
starring role and is known for the catchphrase, "I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass." And I'm all out of bubblegum.
I'm all out of bubblegum.
I love
And he
it.
has like one of the best fights ever with what's his name? Who's Ernie Hudson?
It's like a 6-minute fight,
and it's amazing.
At that time, it was one of the longer cinematic fights.
And it was fantastic.
That's so great. So great.
So 1996, Rocky Maivia makes his WWF debut.
Wow. 1996.
Wow.
Rocky Maivia. He was so awful
Wow.
when he debuted.
On the same show was the Austin Pillman home invasion video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Still one of my
Things
favorite clips.
happened in the same show?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. It's funny the things you forget. Holy cow. Wow.
Move forward to 2004. Like, imagine that. Imagine me and The Rock, and that video happens, and then
You're
you
like,
say, well,
shit.
I'm forgotten.
Yeah. my debut meant nothing.
Yeah. So,
Sorry,
2004, WWE SmackDown. It was the Kurt Angle, Daniel Pewter incident.
I love that incident.
Yeah. Where Kurt
Daniel
Angle
Pewter,
was
you
wrestling tough enough contestants. He wrestled one and stuffed him, and then Daniel Pewter stepped up and put him into a shoot, little MMA grapple, and ended up with a Kimura lock. And the ref counted him down even though he wasn't down because Kurt Angle was about to rip his head off.
Yes.
How dumb are I get like wanting to impress like the big guys and stuff, but how fucking dumb are you to put Kurt Angle, the biggest star in the company arguably at that time, into a shoot Kimura lock and expect not to be punished severely for it?
Exactly.
Like you moron.
Right.
Wow. Still pretty awesome though that he did that.
It's a crazy. I mean, you got to have a set of balls.
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, big balls.
Wrestling birthday, November 3rd, 1989. So that makes me older than him.
You old man.
But his name is Andrade El Idolo.
El Idolo.
Idolo. One of my favorite wrestlers, man. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty
Love
smooth.
watching him wrestle. I like the skull masks, too. I'm digging
Yeah, I
it.
really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, solid.
I like his accent. Like I like his like Spanglish kind of.
And it's like a deep, like a.
Yeah, and it's like aristocratic.
I had to make my voice
Spaniard.
deep in case you didn't get the hint.
He he twings the line of boss and hitman, kind of like
A little
you know what
bit,
I mean?
and I like his gimmick a lot.
Yeah,
Right.
I do too.
Future champ, right there.
1987 is Cameron, one half of the Funkadactyls.
I totally
Ooh.
forgot that person existed until this
Yeah.
very, very second.
Yeah.
Naomi's old partner.
Yep.
She briefly showed up somewhere. Was it NXT or was it Impact or
I think it was
like it was a Super Flash? Maybe it was AEW.
actually.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever seen her wrestle, but
She was terrible. She's the one where Stone Cold asked her for her favorite match, and she was like, some bullshit.
Right, it's because
match that.
I'm not like saying this is true, but what the rumor mill was that she actually didn't know her wrestling history. Like,
yeah. She had no idea.
right. So she wasn't a
about
fan
any
of the biz.
Yeah.
God love her.
She hadn't watched it on TV very much.
You think you would do some research?
And then she also got, when the Funkadactyls split up, she got knocked down to NXT.
Somebody call my mama.
And remember whenever it was Tyrus and then Sweet Tea and was Sweet Tea Did they make Albert sweet tea or was it Tyrus sweet tea?
I remember Xavier was with them for a while, wasn't he?
So Xavier took over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because he would like get there when he'd get his hair really wet. And
Yes.
and he'd do the hair flip.
Yeah, flip.
And so anyway, 1980, Miss Jackie.
And her famous wardrobe malfunctions all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I always say, poor Jackie. We always think of that first.
Yeah.
The
Just a big old boob. There it is.
Like I said, it's probably one of the first sets I've seen when I was younger.
Wait, didn't that happen in like 1997 or something like that?
I mean, I don't know.
Were you like 30 when you saw?
I said when I was
boob?
younger. I said when I was younger. I didn't say when I was young. Yeah.
Hey man, he was.
Weren't you married by that point?
Who are you? No.
1970.
Yes.
Dawn Marie.
Dawn Marie.
1970s Dawn Marie.
Wow, I think
Yeah.
she's that old.
Me neither.
Weird.
Still a beautiful woman.
She is.
And that is this day in wrestling history, November 3rd. History and birthdays, my friends.
All right, hang on. There was a very important one that happened today. It doesn't have anything to do with wrestling.
If he dies, he dies.
Y'all recognize that?
Was that Johnny
No.
Cash?
It said if he dies, he dies.
Oh.
Oh.
All right,
okay.
now
Oh, Dolph Lundgren.
Come on, get your hands up, man. You need an interpreter? It's time to go to school.
Ivan Drago.
You will lose.
Von Drago, Dolph Lundgren's birthday.
I was
today.
about to say, is it Dolph Lundgren or is it Ivan Drago? His birthday.
It's the same.
Kayfabe Ivan Drago's birthday.
It's Ivan Drago's. Yeah. AJ, what's going on in wrestling headlines, man?
Wrestling headlines. I'm gonna start with. I'll start with a sad one. Why not? Because I only have 3. John Moxley, according to Tony Khan, is entering rehab for alcohol issues. He's entering inpatient rehab, so he had to be scrapped from his Eliminator match tonight against Orange Cassidy, and he'll be gone for a little while, which is sad. But at least he's like getting help, and stuff. And his wife thanked their supporters and everything. So yeah, John Moxley gonna be gone for a while, taking care of himself.
Well, I mean,
which,
he's making a good first step.
Yeah, he's doing what he needs to do. So, yeah.
I ordered his book, by the way. I'm excited for it to get here. Mox, I just ordered it. I'm super excited to read it.
I would like to order that actually too.
I bet it'd be a good read.
Well, I've been reading like little snippets on Reddit, like on Squared Circle and stuff, and it seems like it's going to be absolutely fascinating. So I'm excited to read the whole thing. Maybe I'll have a book report instead of a movie report next week. Who knows? Maybe. Up next, Dirty, this one's for you. AEW is bringing back Battle for the Belts. What is Battle for the Belts there? Dirty Bird 33 with 2 X.
I mean, is that an old WCW pay-per-view?
It's like Clash of the Champions.
It's an old NWA.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
Show that they used to do in like the early 80s.
Oh, yeah. That one didn't jump out at me at all.
So they're bringing back Battle for the Belts, which was an NWA show in the early 80s, and January 8th, it's going to be a pay-per-view for Battle for the Belts. And yeah, it's like the precursor to Clash of Champions, but they can't use Clash of Champions, obviously.
Oh, gotcha.
Up next, and finally, the Ring of Honor archives are for sale.
Ooh.
They're for sale. And there's rumors going around that Tony Khan wants to purchase the whole back library of ROH to kind of sweeten their streaming deal that they're currently working out right now, so they have more content. So yeah, ROH archives are for sale currently. Could be owned by AEW very soon. But again, that's just a rumor, so who knows if it's actually absolutely. That's just not a word.
That'd be a nice jolt to their library if AEW bought it. I mean, it would be, I mean, I'm on board with it as long as they put their pay-per-views on the streaming service.
It's the entire catalog. Or I'm sorry, their entire catalog from 2012 to now, because I don't know who someone else owns their catalog.
Oh, it's not complete. Like, oh gosh.
No, it's from 2012 to present, which is still there's all kinds of classic.
That's like 10 years of not
awesomeness.
Content, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice.
So, yeah,
some of the Ring of Honor wrestlers are already starting to get picked up on indie shows. I've seen Dalton Castle is going to be in Portland. Dak Draper is going to be at St. Louis Anarchy in November 20th. Haven't seen anything about my boy Jay Lethal yet, but
he'll show up somewhere. I also really hope Dalton Castle shows up somewhere cool because I love Dalton Castle. Eric, you introduced me to him. What happened like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. You're like, you gotta look at this guy.
Awesome. Yeah.
And you were correct. It was pretty amazing entrance.
All right, AJ, what'd you watch this week?
AJ's movie of the week.
So, I finally went and watched Ready to Rumble, starring David Arquette.
Oh, as requested by. Was that Primo and Adam? I think Adam.
Yes.
I love that movie.
It was. So, Ready to Rumble was like step one into David Arquette becoming the.
What's it smell like? Smells like ass.
It smells like ass.
Yeah, like my ass, right?
So I remember 0 lines from that movie.
Oh my god, I remember.
It's been so long now.
So
King me. Sorry, I love the movie.
Which how is he there like champion like
Oliver Platt?
like Oliver Platt, and he has the king gimmick, and he's
King
like
of Rock. Yeah,
he's like a cunty heel in the movie, but he's supposed to be like ultra babyface,
right?
And he raps, which is
exactly
the worst thing ever, but it's amazing. And David Arquette, who plays Gordy, they write him like he's a disturbed and stupid child, like he basically. But the movie is so stupid, but it's so good. I love it. But it led to David Arquette becoming the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, which was like the start of the death knell for WCW. But it's also, it has Goldberg and Sting and DDP, and it's amazing. I love the movie so much.
Cage Max concoction.
The like 3-tiered
cage
that then they actually did on a pay-per-view in WCW. Like, they had a guitar room.
Right.
It's so stupid.
It's so good.
Oh, but I highly recommend it. It's awful. I give it a 2 out of 10, but it's amazing. Then, just to go along with that.
Unawful.
Well, I needed to, like, cleanse my my awful movie palette. So I watched You Cannot Kill David Arquette to kind of go along with it.
Watched that.
It's amazing. Like,
David
Arquette
watched
is
that.
just
it's really good. Yeah,
it is. David Arquette is he's just like this huge lifelong wrestling fan. He hated that he was going to get the belt in WCW because he knew that it would basically damage the brand, and he didn't want to do it, but they kind of convinced him to.
Yeah.
And he still performs on the indies every now and then. It's awesome. Highly recommend that one.
Yeah.
Can't
The
kill
whole
David Arquette.
Nick Gage thing where he flipped out with the pizza cutter stuff. Like, yeah, it's definitely worth watching, man. I highly recommend it.
Me too.
Highly,
it's very, very
highly
good.
recommend it. All right, let's get to it here. Fan shout out time. If you want to us shout you out on the show, DM us on Twitter at SitDownMarks and let us know where and when you listen to the podcast, and we will shout you out on the pod. This week's shout out goes to Kevin from Birmingham, Alabama. Guys, he said he listens at work to us, loves the banter between AJ and Primo, and he said that I absolutely suck. No, I'm just kidding. But he did say he loves the banter between you guys. So shout out to Kevin in Birmingham, boys.
Kevin, thank you so much. That's awesome. It's hard to sit here with Primo and pretend like you are interested in... Wait, that's not what a babyface would say. Yes, banter and such. What do you got, Primo? 205-day champion.
Well, I would like to say thank you from Kevin from Birmingham, Alabama, while you sit there at work acknowledging the champion.
Ooh, he's going to get a little
I think he acknowledged.
Kevin.
I believe he said AJ and Primo, not Primo and AJ.
Right, yeah. So he probably really meant just AJ now. So I'll go ahead and do that for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. That is no, but really, that is amazing.
Yeah, super cool.
Yes, that's
thanks for
awesome.
listening to
Thank
the
you
show,
so
Kevin.
much.
We appreciate it, man. Tell about 1,000 of your friends, man. We'd really appreciate it.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big Beef.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening.
You're listening.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Let's get to the show today, boys. We got Saturday night's main event's first ever episode we're going to cover as our Dropkick discussion. I got a little squared circle questions for you two, and also on promo school. Why have we not had this man on here yet?
It doesn't matter what your name is. If you smell what the Rock is.
I mean, this guy's practically the GOAT. You know, we haven't had him on promo school yet. Like,
As far as
I've dropped the ball.
Promos. I don't understand how we have. I mean, we've had some good ones.
We've
though.
had
It's not
some
like
excellent. I feel like we've kind of been going through time a little bit, though.
Yeah, we definitely have. So
We
I
have-
got
we
one.
We just hadn't gotten to him in the timeline yet.
Yeah, I got
It's not
one
like
for
we're-
you from, I believe it was 1999 against Kane. He makes fun of the way he talks when he puts the thing on his neck, like we just talked about not long ago.
Yep. Does he make?
Yeah.
Is this one where he makes fun of the big red nipple?
Don't remember that one in it, but it's
Oh,
about a
wait,
2.5
that's
minute promo. Go ahead.
That's the Rock's promo before one of the Royal Rumbles where he's like, "Are Kane and the Undertaker get together? Does Undertaker want to tickle Kane's big red nipple? I don't care." Like he didn't say "I" obviously, but it's so good. It's one of my favorite Rock promos ever.
Yeah,
that's why I referenced Kane's big red nipple last week.
Oh, got you. Yeah, this one is from Hartford, Connecticut, from a Monday Night Raw back in '99. So really cool one. Excited to bring that one to you. One more time, I want to let you guys know that all our audio episodes are available podcast style on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, SportsWire, online radios, Fridays at 6:45. Primo, tell the masses where can they get that Marks merch that's on sale today, by the way, which is Wednesday. So get to it.
That's right. If you're listening to this right now on a Wednesday, November 3rd, that is, you can go get the Marks merch at tpublic.com/stores/sit down Marks. That's tpublic.com/stores/SITDOWNMARKS. Some new designs coming up. We might get us a Christmas design coming up.
Yes.
And also
New design.
You know, some new designs between now and the end of the year. So keep
Christmas.
a lookout for those, and keep a lookout for sales. Whatever you do on tpublic.com/stores/sit down Marks directly supports our podcast, and we do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We do. We do a lot.
We definitely do. T-Public, man, we thank those guys, too, for making those awesome shirts for us. Christmas is coming up. Go get that Marks merch. Buy it for all your friends that loves wrestling, and tell them all about the podcast. Let's get rolling with our recaps here. We'll kick off the show now with the Indie Roundup. Guys, let's talk about first, right off the bat, AAW, the Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament. AJ, who was our pick to win the tournament?
I believe Matt Fitchett was our pick to win said tournament.
The winner of the tournament, well, in the final was Josh Alexander and one Matt Fitchett, who is now the Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament winner, and he will now face Fred Yehi in the Windy City Classic at the end of November. They usually do it right after Christmas, but they moved it up this year. So Matt Fitchett going for the AAW title. We called this one, AJ, man. This one made sense.
Yeah, we did. We both would at the last show we were both like, it's his time. Like, why he's gonna move on real fast because he's just so awesome. He's so good in the ring, and he's just so funny too. And so that is so cool that he actually won, and he's going to go on to face Freddie Ei.
Yep. Go check out our Twitter. I retweeted a really cool promo that he cut for being the gunslinger. So it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be a heck of a show coming up. So congrats to he's got a brand new kid, and now he's got a brand new trophy at home, and he's going to be fighting for the title. So
awesome.
And he was on AEW awesome. Not long ago. So Matt,
yes, he was.
Matt's turning up, man. The gunslinger. All right, next up, let's talk about Major League Wrestling. We just talked about our boy Big Beef is the newest signee. If you're not familiar with Major League Wrestling, they have 2 shows that come on each week. Wednesday show is a YouTube release, and you don't fact check me, I believe so. And then Saturday is I believe it comes on BN Sports, which I believe is on DirecTV, and maybe, they have their own streaming services and stuff like that. But be on the lookout for Big Beef. He is wrestling there this Saturday, making his debut at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to get his MLW career started, man. That is awesome, man. Great signing by Court Bauer and the gang over there at MLW. Pumped, man, pumped. So we're going to be talking a lot about MLW coming up here. So and also with hopes, Beef's a busy man, so hopefully we're going to try to talk to Beef next week and have him on the pod. So everything goes right, we'll be talking to Big Beef about his debut down there at Major League Wrestling. All right, moving on.
So awesome.
November 20th. Yeah, it really is awesome, man. So proud and happy for him. St. Louis Anarchy, November 20th is their next show coming up, so that's a good ways coming up. We got Mark's Weekend, Iron Spirit Pro, December 3rd, back to normal in Normal, Illinois. Brew Baker there is defending the title against Ace Perry, I believe, now.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you got there, Primo?
Oh.
I didn't know, like you were trying to show me something there.
Oh, no,
okay.
I'm not trying to show you all anything.
Okay. Well, it's too bad, you piece of shit. You should be.
Look,
all right, so
mule sauce.
Mule sauce.
Yeah, and then Zawa Live, December 4th, the very next Saturday, right after that. But they got a show coming up this weekend in Oregon, Illinois, at the Northside Barbecue. It's called Gold on the Ceiling, and their very next show, we are going to be a sponsor.
That's so awesome. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I hope I get hit with a chair. I don't know who hopes for that.
Looking forward to that weekend. We're going to be at both shows, both nights. So make sure you guys put that on your calendar to come check us out up here in good old Illinois. All right, moving along here. Glory Pro Wrestling WrestlePocalypse is this coming Sunday in St. Louis, Missouri. They got a really stacked card there. Jake Something's on it. Josh Alexander, Mike Outlaw, really nice stacked card there. GCW November 12th is their next show. Moving on, Limitless November 13th. Prize Possession is their next slated show. Beef is on that one as well. And then moving on, November 20th, Defy is up in the Northwest is their next show. All right, so I believe that will conclude. I got a few more here. My bad. Absolute Indian Wrestling in Cleveland. Long way to the top. If you follow rock and roll is the name of that card, which is going to go down November 21st. PWG.
How the lyrics go.
PWG. Yeah, PWG has their card the same day as Survivor Series. Their next big show. That's the one that's November 21st. I'm sorry, PWG. Zello is November 7th. Sorry, my notes are getting all screwed up today.
Top to bottom, left to right.
Top to bottom, left to right. Yep. All right, and then
unless you're in Japan,
right? Yeah. All right, and then so last show, I was just want to talk about with Zello that Sunday, November 7th, that show in Lisle, Illinois, Any Given Sunday with Jonathan Gresham and Jordan Grace. So those are the local shows coming up, but the one this weekend, that big one for Glory Pro WrestlePocalypse, looks like to be the big one. So, all right, AJ, get us rolling, man. AEW Dynamite.
Oh, yeah, that was on first again this week. Yay!
Yeah, you're back to Wednesdays.
Lousy hockey.
Good old hockey, letting us have our wrestling back.
They'll switch it again at some point.
They will.
During the stupid hockey season. I say stupid hockey, but, I can't
were
even say sports ball because they use a puck.
They were in Boston for this one.
For the hockey?
No, for
Just
Dynamite.
All of them?
For Dynamite and Rampage.
I'm sure somebody was in Boston for hockey.
Probably.
The campus of Boston University.
It's also the Halloween episode.
Woo!
I'll say that again for the Rampage. It's the Halloween episode. Kickoff. CM Punk in long pants. We got long pant Punk.
Long boys.
Still over.
Oh, long boys. Against
over.
Bobby. He's never going to not be over. I like how that is a thing that people like to talk about. Are the long boys or the short boys? Like it's a point of contention. Today
Short
was long
Punk,
boys.
Long Punk.
He's taking on Bobby Fish. So at the start of the match, they basically wrestled to a stalemate until Punk basically did a dive to the outside. He didn't basically do a dive. He did a dive to the outside. He hits, because Bobby Fish was working over his leg, so Punk hits a one-legged macho elbow. End of the match, Punk hits the GTS for the win. It's a bit of a weird kind of pin, too. Like, it looked like maybe Bobby Fish wasn't pinned all the way to the mat. Bit of a botch. Oh, well.
Yeah. I noticed
what was that
too.
about?
And even after the count happened, CM Punk kind of looked at the ref.
Yeah.
It
was weird. I don't understand. I think it was just a Bobby Fish botch, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But Punk still gets the win, which means he's still undefeated, which means he's still having just great matches, winning while putting everyone else over. Getting the job done. Up next, promo with Malachi Black, who just destroys Cody Rhodes in every way that one can destroy Cody Rhodes, which we'll have his retort later on. Up next, MJF versus some jobber or other. I don't even know his name.
He burned Boston all night, man. This was awesome.
God.
Oh, my God. This was great. He's the best heel in the business.
Yes, hands down. No, there's no one better. And he finally teases that he wants to go for a title shot at some point because he's like, Darby's never coming back. Sting music hits after he runs down Boston completely. Sting music hits, the crowd goes nuts, but there's no Sting. So finally, of course, it's MJF again being a dick, which is awesome. Then lights go out. Sting finally shows up and beats the crap out of everyone. And then Darby Allin is standing in the crowd in like a gumshoe trench coat. It was very jarring. Him in this tan, because he's been all everything black and gray and white, and then he has this khaki fucking trench coat on. It was very weird looking.
Yeah.
But he's back, so Full Gear. They're gonna have a match between Darby Allin and MJF. MJF is the best. Then backstage, Britt Baker freaks out because she has to fight Abaddon. As would I. She's crazy. Next match. She is. I love her gimmick. It's when they have their match, it made me laugh significantly. We'll get to that. Good match next with Sammy Guevara and Ethan Page for the TNT title. Stipulations. If Sammy wins, he gets to pick the next American top team member to take on. Is that what that stipulation was?
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
And then, of course, if Page wins, he gets the belt, and Guevara has to leave the inner circle. Of course, he's not leaving the inner circle. Everyone knows where this is going. It was just a super fun match. These two are awesome. Guevara at one point hits a standing Spanish fly. Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Insane spot. So then he hits a Hurricane Rana, followed by a roll up, and gets the win over Ethan Page. After that,
who can't say he's undefeated now?
No, he cannot.
Yeah.
Well, then afterwards, there's a schmoz, as they tend to have happen in AEW. Jericho makes a joke about wanking, which made me laugh because I'm a child. Like a 12-year-old child. Moving on. Up next is a promo with Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston setting up their match for Rampage. Then Lucha Brothers challenge FTR for they're already the AEW champs, so don't understand the challenge. But anyways.
Yep.
Then we have Shida versus Serena Deeb as another match in the TBS Championship Tournament.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match. I like Shida. Serena's old school, technical. Like she's a brawler too.
This is the best match on the card. This was better than the CM Punk Bobby Fish match. They're
making
opinion.
this a little bit of a feud too. Like this might drag on for a little while and be dirty.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
These two are awesome.
I like Shida, man. I've always liked her.
Me too. They beat the shit out of each other. And there was this cool sequence in the ring where it's just submission reverse, submission reverse, submission reverse. It's very cool.
I like when I say Shida though in front of my wife, she thinks I'm cursing in front of my kids. I'm like, no, it's Shida. It's her name.
Shida.
It's not a guy.
At least her name is
Shida.
Fook Kuchenblock or something like that.
Fack
vagine.
Fack. Yeah.
Fack mother. No. So Deeb at one point gets a trophy that she formerly beat the shit out of. See what I did there? I put her name in the shit because it sounds like. Anyways, she gets the win with the roll up. And then Serena Deeb breaks Shida's leg with a chair. Doesn't really break it, but
they call it leg certo.
It's broken.
leg certo. No one calls it leg certo.
Speaking of broken, which I made us in the lightest way. Y'all hear about? Y'all hear? Very nice. Not where I was going, but very nice. No, man, Danhausen.
Oh yeah,
yes, I did hear about that actually.
Yeah. Tibia and tibia he broke.
Yeah.
Also,
you had the old Sid Vicious
Mance
break.
Warner.
Not to be mistaken for Primohausen.
Mance Warner, Mance Warner hurt as well. So, but side note, man, dang, I hate to see you guys get hurt, man. Go buy their merch. Good luck to those guys. Hope they come back. Safe, speedy recovery. Absolutely. But
Danhausen's was nasty too. Like there's video of it somewhere, and I didn't watch it because that. Like I remember watching the Sid Vicious where he jumps off the top rope and his leg just goes bloop, in a way that legs aren't supposed to go.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's like the same thing kind of, and so I was like, nah, I think I'll skip that.
Oh, thanks.
Up next for my only note for this segment is Lio Rush, please retire again. That's it. He's with Dante Martin, and I want him to go away.
Yeah. They don't. They want to do something with Dante. Yeah, I get a little annoyed by Leo too. Like I don't know,
Dante Martin doesn't need him.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I mean, it's going to lead to a breakup, and
yes.
and they'll have some good matches together. But yeah, I'm not a fan either. But
but can't they just start with the breakup? Can't they just be like, okay, let's just pretend like we've been partners for a while and just do the breakup angle now, so we can just get to it, so I can retire again.
I mean,
Lio Rush could just came in attacking him.
Yeah, like why did?
But like, I'm flippier than you are. No, I'm flippier.
No one is flippier than Dante Martin, which we'll get to.
What it is what it is.
That's right, Macho Man.
You make a valid point, Macho. Yep. Lanny. Up next is John Moxley.
Genius.
Of glory and renown.
Oh,
I wish that he would have been given the Macho Man gimmick. Imagine what the Genius would have done with. Oh yeah!
How could it have done it better than Randy?
What it is what it is.
I mean, Randy, for God's sake.
Oh
right?
yeah, dig it. That was my.
I dig it.
What?
Snap into it.
Oh, yeah.
That beefy, spicy taste.
Snap
Oh,
into it.
yeah.
Dig it.
Oh God,
Elizabeth, I love you.
Will you marry me, Elizabeth? See,
one of my
this
favorite things is Macho's gyrations, right? And his hair added to it, right? So
poofy.
when Elizabeth, so when Elizabeth said yes, remember when he got up and started looking around like he was, his head was, oh man, I love that, man. It's one of the funniest things ever. I love it, man.
Oh, that's the most.
We'll talk about that sometime. The wedding,
Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Ooh, that one was pretty good, actually.
Good stuff.
Where are we? Oh, Moxley and Preston Vance in a squash match. Boo earns.
Oh, yeah.
I actually wrote Boo earns that time. Okay, so this is a great promo by Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, it is. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So basically, he, in non-WWE fashion, he addresses the boos that he's been getting.
Right.
And it was awesome. He was like, he gets it. But he's like, I just please remember like who built AEW and I still, and he's like, I still love you guys, and even though I'm getting booed, and it was great. It was AEW reacting to the fans' reaction of him, as opposed to just ignoring it and pretending like the fans aren't asking for something else. So it's like they're switching up storylines.
Sure.
Reacting to how the fans are taking it in, and I fucking love it. It's so awesome that they're doing that.
This was good. I mean, this is the kind of promos I like. They blur the lines of work, shoot. Primo, you're a pro Cody guy. I'm not a pro Cody guy, but I'm not a non Cody guy. I'm a
you're indifferent.
I'm a 50-50, Cody
an
guy.
ambivalent Cody guy.
Yeah, but I love like he,
You're
I'm
a Stardust guy.
I'm more. No, I'm not. No. I'm more of a fan now because he really got me because Champaign, Illinois, AEW Dynamite, back before COVID, when Cody cut the promo on MJF where he took his shoes off, he threw his keys down to the car. You guys remember that one? Like, it was one of his better promos ever. I was there, man, and like I was like, that was fucking phenomenal. Like that, I would like, I might, and like, to me and to you guys, and I think to everybody else, it's never been about Cody's wrestling. It's always been about his gimmick and his mic work, and so now this is a whole totally different role here. He is like big boss, and he's and he's wrestler. Some and we're all smart marks now. And so now he's kind of like rubbing it in your face a little bit that, hey, I can call my own shot if I want to. Don't forget that.
You know what? The difference for me is like, so when we all knew that Triple H became like an executive, so and he was at the twilight of his career already, so he was already only wrestling once or twice a year at that point, and he would show up in a business suit and do like authority figure stuff only. But he was also at that stage in his career where he was like not wrestling anymore anyway, really, unless it was a big money draw.
Sure.
Cody is not there. He's still very much in his prime.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So that's why for me, it's like he shouldn't have to stop just because he's an executive. He's still a great wrestler in this prime. He just happens really to also be an executive.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what would you guys do? I mean, if you still think you're in the prime of your career, put yourself in Cody's position. You're going to wrestle, right? All three of us are going to wrestle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We ain't going to let them determine, but in the same sense, if you go out and just get booed out of the building, because I and then we got the whole roads to the top thing kind of coinciding and him acknowledging that he's getting booed. So they're blowing kayfabe out, with that. So I think the boos are only going to grow. Does he just say screw it and turn heel and go with it?
I don't think he'll turn heel though. Like this promo basically said like I'm not going to turn heel. Like he said it without saying it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, I would keep wrestling too, obviously, but maybe go to
go ahead.
Maybe go to like have some like non-featured feuds, like go to like the lower card, do something that gets you out of the main spotlight.
Right.
Like don't take up a match on Rampage because it's only 3 matches. Don't have segments that last 25 minutes. So on and so forth.
Sure.
But yeah, another thing too about Roads to the Top is there's going to be there's a fan base for that show that also is a wrestling fan base, and that show, what it does is it humanizes him. So just like in comparison, like the Miz, right? So the Miz has Mrs. And because of that show, I know, because I'm a fan of the show and I'm a fan of WWE, the Miz is a good dude. No matter how big of a heel he wants to be, he's a great dude.
Sure. He's no Hulk Hogan in real life.
Right.
Just a fucking dirtbag.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm interested to see where he goes from here. With everything going on. So, he's in a different predicament than a lot of
It's
like he's
unique.
what he's EVP. So
yes,
I think if he took like an actual like a little bit of a hiatus and just stayed behind the scenes and Gorilla and did everything back there for maybe 6 to 9 months,
right,
and then came back, maybe the AEW fans will stop being assholes, and
because they'd be like thrilled to see him again,
right? Yeah.
Here's one more thing I'm gonna say about this, and then we'll move on. If Cody's gonna stay, where he's at in that role, and it continues to, he starts getting like so much media backlash. You know what I mean? Like, does he just ignore it, or does he keep rolling with the flow? Because last time we heard, it looked like he was going to go away with Arn, and they were going to do this big rebuild. Didn't it look that way?
Yeah.
Didn't it look like it was going to be like the resurrection? And it was very short lived. He was back attacking. You know what I mean? Like, so it seemed like, like where does Cody go from here? Like final thought. What do you think?
Glue Factory. Not really. I just wanted to throw in the Glue Factory.
Go there.
And it's not like it's not like he's like Nash and Hogan in WCW with all the creative control.
Sure.
Do it completely just putting himself over. It's different in this aspect because of the internet and because we're all smart to what's going on, and they're mixing his real life job of EVP with his wrestling job. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I just it's not like he's booking himself to win championships,
right?
Nor will he. So I don't really understand the booze so much. I get that he's an EVP, but he's still a good wrestler,
and that's the thing too. It's like a catch-22. Like, damn if he does, and damn if he don't. He is a championship caliber wrestler.
Absolutely.
And if he does win a championship, then he's going to get shit on.
Yeah.
Yep. Very Roman Reignsy in that regard.
We shall see.
Yes, we shall. So yeah, out comes Andrade after that. He makes fun of Cody's neck tattoo, which made me laugh because it is a terrible tattoo. This is the fucking worst.
Who does that or something like that?
It's so big and it's like right. It looks like just a red.
Cody was like, yeah. Acknowledging that it probably was a mistake.
Yeah, you make a good point, El Idolo. Up next, Malachi Black comes out, spits goo. Pat comes out, sits down, and gives everyone the old double birds. And it was a good segment. I enjoyed it immensely. So, up next is the Elite versus the Dark Order. Featuring many costumes that were hilarious.
Yes.
So first of all, the Elite are dressed like the Ghostbusters, which is fantastic. So my other favorite one was Stu Grayson was dressed as Kratos from God of War, which those are like my favorite games.
So
ever,
was
like
Tommaso Ciampa last week.
Yes, he was. Which I feel like Ciampa did it better because he's got more of a Kratos type build than Stu Grayson does.
My favorite was Evil Uno as a cowboy, just because the crowd was chanting cowboy shit.
Cowboy shit.
But it wasn't like a cowboy. It was like a Will Rogers kind of cowboy with like super tassels and
it
was so funny.
A showboy, more likely. That was good stuff.
So this is my actual note. The Elite hooves all the dicks because they do. At one point, they're just hooving dicks. That's all they do. At one point, they powerbomb Colt Cabana onto the protein pack, so that was also made me laugh. And then Brandon Cutler was dressed as a horse.
Yes,
I love Brandon Cutler so much, and he like comes out, and they think it's going to be Hangman Page, but it's just.
He's so hilarious.
Brandon Cutler, his mouth is taped and stuff. Oh,
yeah,
it was so funny. And then Hangman Page was actually dressed as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So
pulls the head off there at the end. Surprise! That was great.
And Dark Order gets the win off of that distraction. This match was so much fun. It was just ridiculous, goofy awesomeness. Yeah. I loved it. And this is how the show went off the air with good old Halloween shenanigans fun. It was great.
Yeah. Like we got good fun seriousness, of the show as normal, and then they, finished up with some fun stuff at the end. So that was that was fun. So
it was fantastic. What a great episode
it was, man. I enjoyed it too.
I feel spoiled that I get to watch and take notes on AEW every week, whereas Primo has to do like the dredges of like SmackDown, and although SmackDown and Raw weren't too bad.
Yeah, no, I thought it not too bad. I mean, better than what it's been lately. So, but I think it's still a little fresh because of the draft. So,
yeah.
But all right, so last Thursday was Impact Wrestling.
Impact.
I'm gonna bring that to you. This one was pretty good, guys. I'll admit. Moose pretty me popping off the couch with his speech here, but
it was pretty good.
So this was the post Bound for Glory show. They show the recap of the show to open. All right, so let's get into the heat here. Moose comes out in a suit with Impact title in tow, and before he can speak, Eddie Edwards comes out and attacks him, and they brawl. Basically, they take care of Eddie. He goes away. Moose goes back to the ring and cuts a freaking awesome promo. Probably the best one ever. If he wrote this himself, kudos. But
it was really good.
He says that he's done some really bad things since being in Impact Wrestling. He'll continue to do bad things to stay the champion, and he'll and everything that he's done bad, he has done and to get him to where he is today. And he says, and I quote, he says, "I don't care how elite you are or what tribe you are a chief to. It doesn't matter if you are a boss, the man, a queen, or want to add a new day to the week. I, Moose, am the greatest champion of all time."
Very fucking clever. Very clever.
I know, right? This was awesome. I was like, it had me sitting up. I was like, ooh. It was good.
Cool promo. Really cool promo. But you're wrong, Moose.
Yes. I mean, the fact that you are incorrect is irrelevant. It's fine.
He says he'll do whatever it takes to keep the title. Of course, Josh Alexander comes and runs in on him, gives him a big suplex, and then out of nowhere, popped off of the couch once again. Minoru Suzuki's music hits.
Oh, yes.
It takes him about 5 minutes to even show his face. His music plays so daggum long. And then he faces off with Josh. They trade shots and brawl as they both get separated. And I love this segment, man.
Yeah,
this was freaking great, man. Setting up some stuff. You know, we got a little taste of Moose being the champ, calling out basically everybody. This was, what a
Josh
great
Alexander
promo.
got busted open too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did get busted open too. Yep.
I'm really sad that Suzuki's little, not little, but his North American tour is currently at an end, and it'll be a little bit before he comes back to the States.
Yep.
Makes me sad because he's so cool.
Yeah, did he cash in while he was here? He was all over the place,
Yes.
man, and I loved it, man. It was
And he
awesome.
killed it everywhere.
Yep. So backstage, Cardona has a few things to say to Moose. They end up, Cardona says, "I almost beat you in the gauntlet," and Moose says, "Well, almost don't win championships."
Hey.
So they get into a big brawl. And then next up, we actually get to a wrestling match here. Mr. Roppongi Vice himself, Rocky Romero, is going against the new X Division champion, Trey Miguel. Cool new Trey Miguel entrance, guys. Check it out if you hadn't. He comes out with like a spray paint can, and he turns around, faces the Jumbotron, and like spray paints this big logo, but not really. But anyway, yeah, really cool. Trey wins in a great match, but then he gets attacked post-match by Macklin, Mr. Jameson himself.
Stupid Macklin.
Rachel Ellering is back. She beats Tasha Steele. The Inspirations are on Impact for an interview. They're kind of sitting in the back, being all elegant, doing inspiration things. And also, the Kiss Demon returns. So he's back.
People miss the Kiss Demon.
Yeah. So apparently he's back to stay. I hope it wasn't true, but he is apparently. So let's see what happens. Joe Doring is
doing things.
Oh, sorry, I was checking my audio there. So Joe Doring versus Heath. This was interesting here because Violent by Design ends up attacking Heath and
Heathcliff.
Heathcliff and then Rhino as well. Eric Young ends up he pile drives the shit out of Heath, man.
Yeah.
God, I was like, that go. It was pretty forceful, but I mean, they know what they're doing. So anyway, Violent by Design stands tall after leaving Heath and Rhino laying. And then they announced that Hard to Kill is going to be in January. I think that's going to be their January pay-per-view in the home of the Cowboys of Dallas, Texas. Not actually in Jerryland. It's not there. But anyway, it's going to be held in Dallas in January, so they announced that. And then next up, Mickie James out to cut a promo. Mickie James out to cut a promo.
You know, when you speaking of when you said that last week,
I was like,
I did that in real life. And you said right about now Primo would be saying that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But then you're back on the show and you just don't do it.
I totally spaced just now.
He's rusty, folks. But anyway, she's out to cut a promo on winning the title, and basically her and Deanna have zingers at each other, and they're going to fight next week. So the next pay-per-view coming up for Impact Wrestling is November the 20th in Las Vegas. It's going to be called Turning Point, so they're already starting to set up matches for that. So we get to our main event, Chris Sabin versus the returning Ace Austin. Glad to see him back. He was we talked about it a while back. He was I think his apartment building was in a fire. And so glad to see him back wrestling. So this is a fallout from Bound for Glory, a hard fought match between these guys. It kind of felt like an old school X Division match to me, man. It was like I was really enamored by it. They gelled really well. Ace ends up winning to end the show, and that's how Impact Wrestling goes off. So, all right, Primo, wake up, sucker.
I was watching Ace Austin's entrance, and he did the expandable baton.
Sure.
Or what staff.
Right.
And,
The one he
and
bought.
it just reminds me of that every time now.
Every time.
I know. Yeah,
and I'm
he
just
botched
like,
it.
I feel like he used to not use the expandable one.
He shouldn't, because he keeps
Sometimes
botching
he just
it.
comes out and it's already expanded. He's just
Okay.
doing the.
It's already erect.
It's already
He has an erect
yes.
staff.
Yeah, he botched the one about half a foot away from you.
Almost impaled the guy.
I will never forget that. It was so funny.
Oh man.
Okay. All right. Time for some smackity down, baby.
There we
Smackity
go.
down.
Charlotte Flair opens up the show. She comes out gloating about her SmackDown Women's title, talking about not keeping up with the title count because it's just another Friday for her.
Man, I love this promo, man.
Does
this was
count?
a boss promo.
Yeah, she gives a great promo. Does
Yeah.
this is a real question from me. This isn't part of her promo. But does this count as another title reign or the same title reign as the one that she just had with the Raw title?
Oh, because they swapped them? I think it's
Right.
the same
I think it's the same title reign. Yeah, I don't think she gets to add a number to the.
Right, because
To
she's
the
talking
count.
about title count.
Yeah. Also, too, yeah, like this felt like she was talking to Becky, and with all this stuff going on, she was looking in the camera, kind of feeding into it. And this crowd, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, they love Charlotte.
Oh,
Yes,
my
they
God.
did.
They were pro Charlotte for sure.
No animosity
She
whatsoever.
says it's time to leave the division. When Sasha comes out, Sasha Banks interrupts because it's boss time, saying she wants to win the belt back, take back what's hers. Charlotte says that she talked to Sonya Deville, that is, and they agreed that
DeVille, that is.
As opposed
Black
to like
gold.
Red Sonya. Or...
and they
Can't think of any
agreed
other Sonyas.
that someone new should get a shot. So out comes Shotzi in her tank.
Shotzi!
In
He
her
says
tank.
that she's the one.
All
Charlotte
right.
says, "All right, let's have the match right now," and it ends up being a championship contenders match. How annoying are all these championship contenders matches?
They're ridiculous. I hate them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm the contender. No, I'm the number one contender. I'm the number one contender. And then we have all these matches.
Yeah, it used to be just like you have a match to determine the number one contender. That was it.
Yeah,
that was
it. Two people, and then
Yeah.
hey, you're the number one contender.
Shotzi makes me so nervous when she dives through the ring. I've seen her bust her face on the indies so many times doing those suicida dives, man. Like it makes me nervous, man. It's like a train wreck, but I mean it fits her style.
Yeah, she like scorpions herself every time.
Yes.
So they have the
Like a
championship.
rock.
Exactly. She must do yoga or something because you're not supposed to bend that way.
Tattoos make
What
you
do they call those?
flexible.
Contortionists?
Yes.
So
Bendy people.
Charlotte ends up defeating Shotzi, and after the match, Sasha's kind of like trying to help Shotzi out, but Shotzi heel turn, and she lays the smackety down on Sasha Banks.
She does lay the smackety down it.
Green hair versus blue hair feud
Green versus blue.
coming up.
I like green.
The new green brand. And then she shoots the cannon.
As one does.
Yeah.
When one has green hair.
Does it have like one of those Nerf footballs in it?
Welcome to the ball pit.
It did. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's... I mean, I
So-
don't think it's a real cannon, but who knows? It might be.
A real cannon.
Yes.
It should just make it a T-shirt cannon.
Yeah, what the hell?
That should. I mean, why didn't they do that?
And then everyone gets T-shirts.
And then it's interactive, and she's a fan favorite.
It's not going to do a whole lot for her heel turn. though.
Right.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, so moving on. Jeff Hardy is backstage talking about holding a title that he's never held before.
24/7?
And that's exactly what I thought of.
I was going to ask you, Primo, which one has he not?
Universal and 24/7.
Oh, I thought he was one of the
But
ones that had.
he's talking about Universal.
Yeah.
He's a multi-time IC champion. He's a U.S. champion. He's a multi-time tag champion. He's a WWE champion. So the only one available is the Universal Champion. Because if you put the 24/7 champion on my championship on boy, I'm gonna be highly pissed off.
They're going to. They're totally going to.
You can't do it. He's a future Hall of Famer. You cannot do him like that.
So is R-Truth. No, he's not.
I mean,
I shook my head.
actually,
R-Truth is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
He should be in the
will.
Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's had a lengthy career.
Yeah, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Based
just for
on
longevity alone.
He's a journeyman.
alone. He's been around since what, like 96 or something?
Quick.
Quick. Charlotte, North Carolina.
So,
he's still awesome.
I wrote down another Drew McIntyre Open Challenge for zero prize.
That's so dumb.
Where Mustafa Ali answers and gets beat.
Sure.
King Woods knights his New Day brethren Kofi Kingston to hereby be known as Sir Kofi, the Hand of the King.
It's a timely reference, isn't it?
The Usos interrupt, and we have ourselves a good old New Day Usos showdown. And King Woods demands trial by combat. King Woods and Sir Kofi defeat the Usos in a non-title royal victory to end Smackity down, baby.
See, shouldn't that make them the number one contender for the Usos?
Automatically, that should have been a championship contenders match.
Yeah, so Kofi's going to be like his right-hand man, kind of servant.
He's like that bald dude in Game of Thrones.
I think he's... I haven't watched that before. But Kofi might end up making this gimmick here for Woods. Like, I'm already kind of entertained by Kofi talking like so that, funny. You know? Yeah. 2 notes for me. I'm excited for Xia Li.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they had another vignette for her,
Yeah, I'm excited to see her show up.
But why are they doing coming soons? Like, those never go well. It just makes me think of Emelina every time I see coming soon.
And then the last thing that made me die laughing as the show went off, they were talking about next week we'll be back on Fox. You know, the World Series will be over.
They were on FS1.
Yeah, Pat McAfee says, baseball is stupid. and the show goes off like it's the last thing you hear. It was so funny, dude. Like, oh my god! I was like, that's hilarious. Man.
I watched
baseball is stupid.
This clip of Pat McAfee is like dancing on the announcer's table, gyrating to Shinsuke's music, and he has his foot on Michael Cole's shoulder.
Oh my god!
Michael Cole's just like taking it.
Oh, I love Pat McAfee. He really won me over.
He is the best.
Which, by the way, do you want to know my one note from SmackDown? Why the fuck is Baron Corbin wrestling Shinsuke Nakamura again? I got so angry
that's why it didn't even go on my notes.
Happy Corbin getting the IC strap.
I don't. Okay, that's it. I'm done giving out.
After he lost his crown to Shinsuke.
Rampage AEW.
Friday night.
They like to think. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but they like to make out wrestling fans as goldfish. We have short-term memory, apparently.
Evidently, yes, and have never seen this feud going on since fucking May. Friday night Rampage. Guess what? It's a Halloween episode. So this one was sure. Let me try that again. This one was so short.
So short.
Forearm sharts for everyone. Yeah. Kicks off with Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston in the next round of the Eliminator Tournament. And holy fuck, Eddie's over. Like, Jesus goddamn
Oh my
Christ.
God. That was what I wrote too, man. First thing, Eddie is over AF.
It was amazing. Like, he rivaled Bryan Danielson. I almost said Daniel Bryan. So the story of the match is you have Bryan Danielson, who is the supremely talented wrestling god, against, never say die, never quit, Eddie Kingston. Cool little storyline for the match. Kingston tries to out-wrestle Bryan and just doesn't go very well for him. So Bryan gets kind of mad and just stomps his face and his elbow. And
it's pissed.
So I thought this is very heelish and kind of smart. So Eddie hits a suplex to Bryan to the outside, and then he goes for the count-out win. It's like, why don't more heels do that? Like, just get him outside and then get back in the ring and wait for the 10 count. Bryan makes it back in, of course, but I thought that was a smart little bit of booking for him.
Yeah.
So holy shit, Bryan Danielson's chest looked more disgusting than it did after the Minoru Suzuki match. Kingston slapped the fuck out of his shit. It looked like raw hamburger.
Man,
it was
I know.
gross.
Yes.
Just gross.
Totally agree. Like it gets that way so quick now too. I think
it does. It's like plop plop plop, and
There's
then
no meat left there.
So, finish of the match. Kingston hits his spinning back elbow, and then he doesn't go for the pin right away, and it allows Bryan Danielson to get a triangle choke on him. And it was awesome. You know, he pulled the Brock Lesnar, you know, flips him off, and then fucking passes out.
Yeah.
So, Bryan Danielson gets the win, which means he's moving on to the finals.
I laughed here because they basically just let Eddie lay there till he, like, kayfabe woke up.
Yeah, till he woke up.
Like, they're just letting him lay there, just out. No referees. Referees, like, over across the ring. Like, I'm like, we're going to commercial here. I'm like, well, they're really not trying to sell this at all, are they? Like,
no, they're just
hey,
like,
just gonna let him. Yeah, he'll wake up.
Yeah, let him nap. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be all right. So I got a blanket. Let's put a blanket over Eddie.
When he does finally come to, CM Punk is in the back, cutting a promo, and Kingston interrupts it, and CM Punk had a great line. He was like, you know, you need to watch out. Like, you already went to sleep once. If you're not careful, you're going to go to sleep again. And it was, like, I love that line, and it sets up their feud going forward. So we're going to get a CM Punk Eddie Kingston feud. How fucking awesome is that going to be?
Yeah. When I seen them exchanging, I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
how's this gonna go?
That feud is coming, and Eddie Kingston's going to be the one that is the heel in the match. He was very heelish in this entire segment, but it's going to be hard to do because, good God, is he over?
Right.
Up next, Matt Sydal versus Dante Martin. This is just so fucking entertaining. It was just flips, and more flips.
Flippy.
Yep, Flip City.
Even Jericho and Taz were both like, Dante Martin's fucking awesome. Like, they both put him over huge.
Like, my God, this kid springs in his feet.
It's amazing. So, it's just flippy, fun, doodah stuff. End of the match is Dante Martin hits a double springboard moonsault. Not a springboard moonsault, a double. It's insane. And gets the win over Matt Sydal. Great match, great fun. And we're almost done with AEW Rampage already.
It was
quick. Up next is Britt Baker versus Abaddon. The promo made me laugh. Just because Britt Baker's like, I don't want to fucking fight Abaddon. Abaddon is just like,
me too. This woman, like this was her Halloween pay-per-view, like right here, right? All right. So when I kept looking at her, I'm like, God, man, like I don't even know if they want to touch her.
No.
And then an old line came through my head that I had to write down because I wanted to read you guys this to you. So when I was a young kid in the 80s listening to Gordon Soley, Bob Caudle, Jim Crockett, Shivani, those guys, you know, like the face broadcasters, instead of insulting the heels, they would always say, and this is what made me think Abaddon too. Look at this. This is what nightmares are made of. A face only a mother would love.
It's accurate.
So accurate. God. Yeah, like she spits out that blood, and I'm like, she's got that crazy eye, like she's off of a Marilyn Manson video or something. Like
it's awesome. It made me laugh because, like, Mark Henry was just like, because Abaddon was seriously just like,
just shit is dripping down her shirt already.
And I love
she
Mark.
Crawls to the ring, and I'm scared, man.
She's so
I watched
creepy.
because I'm intrigued. Yeah,
I love Mark Henry too. Mark Henry's just like, who? And then they go down to the ring. So it's Britt Baker versus Abaddon, who is terrifying. They can't use her too much. So that's the only problem with her thing. Like, if she gets overused, it's going to lose its kind of fright factor very quickly.
Right.
So this is a trick or treat street fight because it's the Halloween episode.
Trick or treat fight.
Bunch of street fighty type things. So Rebel and Jamie Hayter set up a table, and So I think it's Abaddon puts Britt Baker through it twice and it doesn't break. Is that right? Or is it the other way around? I can't remember which one it is. Someone goes through it twice and it doesn't break. So they just like splat on it and then like slowly like
fell over.
Ow. Just ow. So up next, thumbtacks come out. And I have to be honest, I'm not a fan of thumbtacks. Like they gross me out. Like, because like I saw this episode of OSW Review where they review one of the King of the Deathmatch tournaments over in Japan. And after the match, they're pulling out thumbtacks out of someone's, I can't even remember whose it is, like back. It just grosses me out. I do not like thumbtacks.
In my wrestling mind too, I always feel like whoever pours them out is going to be the one that takes them. In this case, it wasn't. Or sometimes they both do.
Yeah, they both kind of did.
Yeah.
But Britt Baker goes into them first, which is weird. And she likes
this hardcore shit.
Abaddon certainly does.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, she declared herself the hardcore legend over Mick Foley.
Right.
Yeah, this is true. So she puts thumbtacks in Abaddon's mouth. Fucking gross. And then when she goes for the lockjaw, like Abaddon again is like rah, 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 like
yeah,
because she is a zombie in kayfabe. And then Abaddon basically, like Rebel jumps up and Abaddon basically eats her face. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Britt Baker gets rolls her up into the thumbtacks for the 1, 2, 3, and it was so awesome. I hate thumbtacks, but it was gross. Abaddon's great. The fact that she ate Rebel's face was amazing. Tables don't break. Like nothing was going right for anyone.
Yeah,
and it was fucking. I love this episode of Rampage. It was so good.
Yep,
and that is Friday Night Rampage.
Friday Night Rampage.
Boom.
Boom, motherfucker.
I was trying to put Primo and Raw together. Primo.
Ramo.
Nope. Primo.
Pre-Ramo.
We're all fried. Premature. Raw recap.
Raw mature.
Raw is Primo.
Providence, Rhode Island. Did you do you guys like these gorilla pre-interviews before they walk out?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't like them at all.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Sometimes I do because they add to it, and sometimes I don't. I also don't like the ones when they're coming to the ring and they're like, Becky Lynch had this to say earlier on in the night, and then it's like a little picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
I don't care. I don't really give a fuck at all.
Yeah.
So speaking of Becky, kicking off the show with Becky versus Bianca because they actually had 2 backstage segments, like you said, and then kicking them off, Becky versus Bianca for the Raw Women's title. Becky Lynch wins and retains the championship after Bianca hits the exposed turnbuckle and gets rolled up by Becky Lynch. Later on, Becky's given a promo about someone else stepping up, and Liv Morgan walks up to her, at which point Becky kind of like about faces and walks the other way.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I'll go this way. But
so
Liv look in shape.
Liv is always looking good.
It's like she's been gone for a minute or something. I don't know, but yeah.
No, she showed up on SmackDown and beat the shit out of Carmella a few times. And then she was doing Liv Morgan stuff, and then she's on Raw.
She hasn't been on a whole lot since they were kind of doing that thing about keeping her.
Since they're doing the shit they're doing to Naomi now. The same
basically, same game.
Yeah. So,
that's sad.
But yes, she is a very attractive woman. Seth comes out talking about his victory last week to become #1 contender. The Drip God. Monday Night Rollins returns.
Love it.
I love me some Seth Rollins.
Yes,
I liked his suit. It was very autumny. It was very 1970s grandma house kind of
I love the dance.
style.
Yeah. The dance is amazing.
It's so good, man. He's doing it in the ring now. It's great.
Yeah, I'm so glad he's back in the main event.
Big E comes out to interrupt him, and they start exchanging words and arguing over like who the face of Raw is, because he's Monday Night Rollins, but Big E is the actual WWE champion. And then it leads to Big E telling Seth just to face him tonight, but Seth refuses, saying he isn't 100% from the Hell in the Cell match. And I'm sitting here thinking, but wait, you had a freaking ladder match last week.
Yeah,
right.
To become the #1 contender.
Yeah. So then Kevin Owens comes out talking about who the face really is. It's the KO show. It's my big brother's show. And so it says if Seth won't fight Big E, then he will. So Big E and KO agree to go one-on-one for the one-on-one with the great one.
With the great one.
For the first time ever. Halfway through the main event, Seth Rollins comes down ringside to spectate the match. When Big E is knocked near the ropes, Seth Rollins takes that opportunity to clock Big E with a forearm before walking off. KO takes advantage and goes for the pin, but Big E is able to counter into a crucifix pin. I love a crucifix pin.
I do too.
Especially
when it's a British Bulldog.
After the match, Big E says Kevin saw Seth strike him. Owens grabs the mic and says he was half knocked out and apologizes. He says this is Seth Rollins' fault and challenges him to a match next week. Kevin says he's sorry, but Big E says Owen knows what you did.
Like a parent.
Yeah. So Big E hits Kevin with the big ending and says he don't trust him after all that, basically.
I mean, he's right.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't trust him either. I mean, he's got that stunner in his pocket.
My big brother is very trustworthy, okay?
I like Seth Rollins during the whole thing, too, and his cackle is like,
He's known me my whole life. Riddle, so we got Riddle scooting backstage when he runs into the dirty dogs. Riddle asks if they have dog spirit animals and guesses that Bobby Roode's he's a Great Dane. Well, Dolph reminds me of his old dog. You remind me of my old dog Fonzie.
I loved that when he called Bobby Roode Big Bob.
Big Bob,
yes.
Bro.
Big Bob.
Bro.
Carry on.
Rude asks if he ever shuts up, and Ziggler tells Riddle to pay close attention to their match tonight because RK Bro got lucky last week. Rude says they've had a week to rest up and are ready to take on the Street Profits. So, that was me doing Street Profits entrance.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
They want all the smoke. They say they're the Dirty Dogs. I actually really do enjoy the Street Profits entrance.
I do too.
They say they're the Dirty Dogs and they want the smoke. We want the smoke.
I like the cups.
Yeah, I love the cups.
Yeah, pretty dope.
I like that music.
Yeah, that music is as they say, a banger.
I don't know what that means, youngster.
Ask Old Man River.
He's gonna know less than I will.
So anyway,
means it's groovy, Eric, or
or
hip.
Rude says they've had a week to rest up and they're taking on Street Profits. They say they are the Dirty Dogs and they want the smoke. Riddle says it's clear the dogs never heard of rough pass.
Yeah. rough
what
pass.
A great
puff pass. Yeah.
Oh. So then during the match, Almost comes out. He distracts Montez Ford while he's on top rope, allowing Ziggler to get the win. He throws Dawkins against the entrance barricade, and then he catches Montez Ford again and slams him. Riddle attempts to help out the Profits. Every time Riddle goes after Almost, he gets freaking destroyed.
He
gets ragdolled.
And that's what happened here. Back. And then, so this whole time, Orton's been at the commentary table. And they're like, they ask Randy Orton, they're like, are you mad at Almost? And he says, no, I'm mad at Riddle for even charging at him like that.
What a great line.
So yeah, and that's basically Raw. That's Monday Night Raw.
Nice.
That's the highlights anyway. It wasn't that great, I'll be honest, and I will say that there was zero Keith Bearcat Lee.
He's already getting buried.
Damien's got a new song.
I will say that he introduced that last week.
Oh yeah, I kind of want to talk about Damian Priest, by the way.
So he had the no DQ match with T-Bar, and I should have saw a picture of his stomach afterwards.
Oh, it looked gross.
He was just talking about hamburger meat, where he had taken kendo shots. Gross.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of his new like Jekyll Hyde thing? Like he's going to be a babyface who just loses it in the ring. I do too. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's got the look to pull it off too. Like, like he can have a baby face and be sweet enough and be like a terror all of a sudden. So yeah.
Damian Priest is. I'm definitely. Yeah, me too. He's definitely winning me over.
Yeah. All right.
Good for him.
All right, let me take you through NXT here real quick. 2.0, as this is the post-show past Halloween Havoc last week. All right, guys, something happens right off the bat that I haven't seen very often. Mandy comes out to start the show looking as only Mandy can look.
She's pretty.
Yeah, you deserve it chant start, and right after that, no you don't chant.
Yeah, I was going to say, I agreed with the no you don't chants. Like, what did she do to
You deserve it. No, and it was funny. She was stepping back and letting them say you deserve it, and then once people started chiming in saying no you don't, she was like, I don't care what you guys say. I know I am, But anyway, what I was getting to is she says that she proved that she is still the baddest bitch and that now she is the baddest bitch in the whole goddamn company.
Baddest bitch.
They bleeped her. They bleeped her on the GD.
Well, I thought they were trying to be edgy. What the fuck?
Well,
either be edgy say bitch and shit.
Yeah.
Not goddamn, though?
So, yeah, apparently not.
What a bunch of cunts.
Yeah, they blocked that out, bleeped her out. She tells everybody that Toxic Attraction runs the show now because they have all the gold and they're coming for more. And then about that time, Io Shirai comes out. They brawl. The rest of Toxic Attraction shows up. It's a big brawl as Toxic retreats when Io gets from help from some others in the locker room. Toxic Attraction sees Dakota Kai on the way out, and Dakota tells her that she didn't do it for her. She did it to end Raquel, referring to the shovel shot from Halloween Havoc when she hit Raquel in the back. So they kind of did that, and then Dakota kind of has this new look. She looks a little bit kind of like a crazy porcelain doll type. Y'all notice that? Like, her face is kind of really white and almost like a star on her eye.
Yeah, what is she trying to be exactly?
I don't know, like she's like gyrating fast.
Just changing it up just a little bit.
Gyrating fast.
Yeah, and then but I don't know, like
percolating.
Yeah. Anyway, she tells Mandy that she did it to end Raquel, not to help her, and then she beats Cora Jade, who is the girl that's been riding the skateboard to the ring. So. Next up, a funny MSK vignette where they are sitting outside of, like kind of like waiting for the bus, and they are bummed that they lost the titles. They were champions for 202 days, they said, Primo. So you were just 3 days over their title reign.
That is almost the Primo run.
Sorry, boys. You almost made it.
That's the first thing I thought. I was like, 202, that's close to Primo's, I think. So funny story. They go into telling what MSK means. And so they're about to spill the story. A big bus goes by. And then when the bus finishes going by.
That's funny.
He's like, so that's how we came up with MSK. So still it continues that we don't know what MSK means. But the story goes on, and funny little vignette there. Next up, Zion Quinn beats Robert Stone. One spot in this match Zion Quinn. He's doing like the Uso dance, the Samoa dance.
Yeah, he's doing a
You know what
hug.
I mean? Yeah. He threw Robert Stone 10 feet in the air, I think, one time just for a spot to drop, man. That was pretty nuts. And so that was pretty wild. And then next up was El Legado Fantasma versus Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner. Cool new El Legado Fantasma shirts. AJ, did you see them? They are like the LWO.
Which I don't want at all because you guys all know how much I don't like the LWO. I don't like anything NWO, like any derivations there of BWO, LWO.
Right.
Fuck off. I hate it, especially the BWO. Fucking
Yep,
Davey
and then,
Richards.
so they
Get the
got
fuck
a new
out of here.
shirt, and then they win the match when they get a pin on Vaughn, and then Vaughn and Kyle O'Reilly kind of have a little stare at each other, kind of like, I don't know, but
Why is Von Wagner?
it's Von Wagner. Is that his real name? It's Von
Yeah,
Wagner,
they pronounce
right?
it like in Germany, like the Von Wagner.
Like it's a W.
Yeah,
Von.
The W's are like pronounced as like V's in Germany. Von Wagner. Why is he losing already? Like, aren't they? Isn't he one of like Vince McMahon's? Wow, look at their beef! Wow. And why is he losing? I don't get it.
I don't know. I think they're going to take lumps for a little while and build themselves up to eventually be champions, probably. I'm sure. Next up, my favorite part of the show. I am freaking, and I love Andre Chase. He is over. He wrestled Braun Breaker in this match. Chase is so over. The crowd loves him.
I love Andre Chase too.
The student section thing is money.
It is.
I love
great.
how he's incorporating college terms into his promos, like PhDs on ass whippings, and and I love the rolled up piece of paper, and he points to the student section, and it's good stuff.
I
man.
do. I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, my boy Harlem, man, I love it, man. But crowd, the crowd loved him, man. Student section's going nuts. It was a great promo. Braun comes out and wins as expected, and says that he is coming for the title to Ciampa. If he thinks he's done, with him, he's got another thing coming. So, looking like Rick Steiner, talking like Scott.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's how it is every time. If you close your eyes, it's Scott Steiner.
It really is.
Definitely is. This boy needs get this man a math promo, will you?
Hey, 3 to 3rd.
Somebody get this man a math promo.
Hey, if you 25% of the time.
Solo Sikoa comes out. Uso's younger brother wins in a squash match. He does a big, huge splash off the top rope. Looks like it's going to be his finisher at the moment. And then right before the main event, guys, Duke's Poker Room. Cameron, Grimes, and Duke have been playing poker all been going back to the segments throughout the show. Duke was winning, and then they go all in at the end. And funny thing is, the final hand is Duke has a pair of something. Anyway, Cameron has a flush with. He goes, "You beat me with twos, a pair of twos." Duke goes, "What? A pair of twos?" And Cameron goes, "To the moon." Clever stuff there, man.
Cameron Grimes.
Oh man, good stuff. All right, to finish up NXT, Ciampa comes out. He is greeted by Carmelo and Trick Daddy before their match with Loomis and Gargano, which is the main event. It says he tells Ciampa, "Hey man, I'm the A champ now. You're gonna have to take a back seat." Ciampa hits Trick Daddy. Is it Trick Daddy or is it
Trick Williams?
Trick Daddy.
Trick Williams.
Trick Daddy.
I said this last
Trick
week,
Daddy was a
but
rapper from like the early 90s.
All right. Ciampa. So Ciampa hits Tricky, and then
Tricky.
as Ciampa is retreating, Gargano comes to the ring, and him and Ciampa kind of make a little eye contact. Been a little while since we've seen a Gargano Ciampa match. So
a little DY action.
Yeah,
to help him with Carmelo and Trick.
Very well said there, Primo.
Trick
Could
Daddy.
be it. Good match. Tons of near falls. Carmelo does like a famouser off the top rope onto Loomis after Trick hits Loomis with a shoe from that was laying outside the ring. I think they portrayed like fell off his foot. But anyway,
Chancla.
Trick and Carmelo win. What's that?
I said chancla.
Yeah, Trick and Carmelo win as the show goes off. They are standing there just kind of, showing their dominance. And that is how NXT
Just
2.0 comes around. But yeah, this NXT 2.0 was pretty decent. I wasn't too mad about this one, man. This one
they're starting to pick up a little steam.
They are.
I'm still not on board with NXT 2.0.
I was gonna say I'm still not a fan of the kind of layout because it still looks like glow to me.
Yes, it looks very.
I just can't get past it, but
it's very chintzy.
Yeah.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, but you can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right, let's get to the Dropkick discussion of the week, boys. It is November. We just got finished up with Halloween Havoc. We did what I compiled as my top 4 Halloween Havocs. That was fun. So now it is time to move on back to the WWE side. Well, most of these are WWF side, as we're going to be covering 4 Saturday nights main events, a couple episodes that we have chosen to cover. This particular one we're going to cover today was the very first episode me and the boys watched, the Saturday night's main event episode from May 11th, 1985, from the classic Nassau Coliseum, which a lot of wrestling took place there. I don't believe this building is still up at these days and times, but fun show here, boys. Right off the bat, guys, just quick note here. As you turn the show on, what was some of the first things that jumped out at you about this 1985 show of Saturday night's main event here?
The music.
Yep, the music was like number one. It was
a great theme song, wasn't it?
It's like the most early to mid 80s theme song ever.
It's like a video game theme.
Yes,
this wasn't long, boys. Right after Mania 1, so we just got done having Piper Orndorff versus Mr. T and Hogan, but yeah, exactly, man. I love the entrance music. Vince and Jesse, with the banter right off the bat. Jesse forgets JYD's name that he's on the card right off the bat, so I'm laughing right off the get-go here.
Yeah, that was funny, and then I wrote down that I like how, even to this day, everything that Vince does, he refers to as the biggest spectacle in either wrestling or sports entertainment.
Sports entertainment history.
Sports entertainment.
It's always the biggest spectacle.
He also says the word maneuver roughly 9,000 times.
He does.
That was a top rope maneuver. He doesn't have like his what a maneuver voice yet.
Oh.
Like this is like young Vince.
Right.
Also,
I love to see young Vince, though. Yeah,
I love to see Jesse the Body Ventura. I love Jesse the Body so much. He looks like a stick of gum that you get with like baseball cards, like when you were a kid.
That chalky pink.
Yeah, it's like he dressed like head to toe pink, and
yeah,
he's amazing.
All right. Yeah, man, this was awesome. They did the classic promos. Mr. T and the Hulk. Mr. T's like he's got a bar that he's like bending, like they're working out in the middle of people. By the way, like they're like in a foyer of a section, of the arena. But yeah, hope you guys went and watched this one. I told you guys last week we'd be covering it, so we could cover along here. So let me get started here, boys. Let's start off with George the Animal Steel, Nikolai Volkov, Iron Sheik with Classy Freddie Blassie versus Barry Windham, Mike Rotundo, Bray Wyatt's dad.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Well, I think he was just Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, just Ricky Steamboat.
Just Ricky Steamboat with Captain Lou Albano.
Lou Albano.
What you guys? What was your notes on this match?
So my notes on this one were I had a few notes actually on this. Number one, I said that something that would not happen today was the commentators would not talk over the wrestler's introduction because the wrestlers would go ape shit.
Uh-huh.
Also, I was laughing so hard at the Iron Sheik's salute during.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Yeah, no, he was during the Russian national anthem.
It was so weak.
Sorry, the Soviet.
How about Shiki's shoes?
How
about
the
his
pointy
shoes?
shoes? The pointy
Those are
shoes.
classic,
His
right?
pointy boots. And
Yeah.
so Shiki Baby's boots. Which,
I also said that.
Xavier wears them now. He wears the,
Yeah,
the
he
Shiki
does.
boots.
I love it. I love it. You guys watching wrestling, old wrestling, because I
I
was
said
10 years old watching this.
Referees
this
have
is
come a long way since the 80s and 90s. At least the ones in the main promotions nowadays don't look like out of shape tube of toothpaste.
With bow ties on.
Yeah.
And how cheesy was this music for the faces?
Oh,
The
I
Ameri-
know.
God, this was.
I just wrote America music.
American music.
America music. That's all I could
My
describe.
my last note was basically Ricky Steamboat carried the match, and
Yep.
Oh yes, he did.
and
Absolutely.
I said, I wonder if they take George the Animal Steel to the groomer every 2 weeks.
I bet it's more often than that because he is a hairy fella. I
AJ,
like
any
that.
more notes of this match?
Oh yeah. So well, first I want to mention like during the pre-match promo with Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, like Mr. T does his whole "I pity the fool." And Hulk
I
Hogan-
pity the fool too, brother.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan goes, "I pity that fool too." And for some reason, that made me laugh. So this match is, I liked how George the Animal Steel, he gets in the ring before like the match starts because he thinks it's going to start, and his whole thing is basically going like this.
Yeah. Moving his fingers back and forth.
Like just
so
like
good.
he's like a crazed gorilla. It's amazing.
I enjoyed this so much.
Oh, it's fantastic. At one point, this is like my only other note, except for the end of the match. Like at one point, IRS has Volkov in the corner, and like Volkov is on his back with his legs up, and fucking Mike Rotunda's face is just right in his gooch. Like,
Yes. Right in his gooch, yeah.
directly in his gooch. Like he was like napping there. He's just like in the gooch.
Just enjoying it, taking the time out.
He's just like gooch.
So my notes real quick. Barry Windham, man, this is the Barry Windham I remember. How young and like just so much potential like him and Ricky both had. And I also want to make out a point to you. IRS, okay? Here was the difference. You know how like when wrestlers switch promotions?
Mhm.
Okay. IRS, Mike Rotundo, he went back and forth between WCW and NWA, WWF a lot. So when he was in WWF, he was Mike Rotundo. When he was in the NWA or WCW, when he was that gimmick, he was Mike Rotunda.
His
Yeah.
last
Really?
name.
His real last name. Yeah, he had like a Syracuse gimmick because that's where he went to school when he was in the varsity club.
Oh yeah, the whole
So-
college boy
Yep.
gimmick when he's like in his mid-30s.
Let me roll down this. What happened real quick? Chaos early in the match. The faces clear the ring. Steamboat comes in with a hot tag, carries the match, arm drags. Commercial. It was funny because they went to a commercial break and everyone's outside the ring. So it was like it was like everybody went outside the ring, had stuff going on. So it was like a timed. It was just funny to see like that was what they did back
Yeah,
then. So,
basically a 3-minute rest hold.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like just wasting time for 3 minutes while the commercials ran.
Yep. Great heel face banter between these guys. I mean, this is what it was all about in the 80s. You know, Sheik and Volkov end up abandoning George Steele.
For no reason.
For no reason. Wyndham rolls him up for the face win. George the Steel tears up the turnbuckle, does his gimmick. They attack Steele, then crazy post-match interview with these guys as they're walking away from the ring. Freddie Blassie's trying to keep these guys all together. You could tell they were trying things with like the interview leaving the match, like in the concourse there. So
Yeah, I actually have a note about that.
It's so weird.
It's late. Like I put this note later on, but I can go ahead and say it now. Was basically that the whole notes or the interviews right there post match that are coming down. It's kind of a bad idea.
Yeah, I know, especially when the loser is like still following
Because
behind.
they walk right by them.
Right.
Yeah,
Right by
they're
them.
gonna fight.
There's a note here at the end. We'll come back to this too, but when Junkyard Dog's standing there with his mom at the end of the show, you can tell he's nervous being around, so many people that close, because there's, some of the interviews, there's people throwing stuff, going to the ring. It was fucking chaos. I mean, they were grabbing people.
I wrote that down several times.
Yeah,
Me
several
too.
times. It's nuts. I mean, imagine walking your mom.
Cyndi Lauper looked so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
she did.
Yeah,
yes.
she did.
Well, so did Mama Junkyard.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, last note, AJ, and we'll move on. You got anything you said about the finish?
Just why did they attack?
The attack.
The heels lose, and then they attack the animal for no reason whatsoever. And then with Gene, I wrote down Gene Mean because that's one of my favorite things ever. Gene Mean, like whenever Shiki calls Mean Gene Mean. Right. Also, I love that it featured Gene Mean's comb over. This is before he was just like, fuck it.
Right.
He had like the little patch that was like, just like that.
Barely over.
It was
barely
amazing.
He was hanging on to it. All right, so next up in the show, which I think was maybe the first Piper's Pit, because McMahon said that, this is what we're going to call Piper's Pit. So basically, this became to be a legendary spot on in WWF wrestling back then. So Roddy wants to talk to Paul Orndorff about their Mania loss to Mr. T and Hulk, which I told you they were coming off, not a loss, not too long ago. And then so they take good jabs at each other. They ended up brawling. Bob Orton hits Paul with a cast that he had on his arm for like over a decade, I think. Mr. T ends up saving Paul Orndorff there. It was classic Roddy and Bob Orton heel stuff here for Piper's Pit. What you guys got for this section?
So I wrote down immediately, this Piper's Pit was awesome.
Yes, it was.
And I also wrote down, if I had if I was a little kid, right, and I had no idea about what happened at WrestleMania or anything before watching this specific Piper's Pit, that I would be a big fan of Paul Orndorff. He would have won me over here. Dude's built like a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
And I said there's another thing too. There will never be another Roddy Piper. He is so freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
He knows how to give it to him verbally and physically.
He does. You're right, man.
And I said they should stop trying to do talk shows on modern WWE TV because they'll never live up to Piper's Pit.
Nope.
And I said the only one that is just outside of this, the only one that's memorable to me over the past 20 years is the highlight reel from Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
but,
that's the only one that's close.
But yeah, specifically this Piper's Pit was awesome. If you didn't know the history of Paul Orndorff right before this, you would immediately think Paul, he's like this really fucking cool guy.
Right.
And I just like how he's like, sit down, or he just tells Bob Orton, he's like, get over there.
Yeah. Yep. Stay in the corner.
Yeah.
AJ, you got anything?
So first, a lot of it was trying to get Paul Orndorff to sit, which was funny. And then when they are sitting, why are they sitting so close together? Like they're sitting in those chairs,
they're real intimate.
So their legs are they're almost like scissoring. Like they're sitting like this.
They were not social distancing, were they?
No,
definitely not.
So then, after they beat up Orndorff, I wrote, Mr. T comes out while Paul Orndorff lays in garbage. Because there was so much junk around the ring.
Yes.
And Orndorff was just laying in garbage. And that made me laugh. But yes, I absolutely agree with Primo. Roddy Piper is one of my favorite heels, one of my favorite faces, one of my favorites of all time. Anyone who disagrees with me is incorrect. He's so awesome. So awesome. And I love that he was never the cowardly. I mean, he was, but not really. He would always fight to back up his heel tactics. But I love Roddy Piper. I love Piper. I've always loved every iteration of Piper's Pit. And it was so good to see again. I loved it so much.
All right, next up, there's the Hulk Hogan promo, classic promo of Hulk Hogan. This belt, now it looked very WCW NWA like. This was the smaller belt,
the tiny one.
Yeah, we haven't got to the Winged Eagle yet. Fans are throwing stuff like we talked about while Gene and Hulk are talking there. But the next match was Hulk Hogan, the champion, versus Ace Bob Orton. Right off the bat, guys, Rockstar going to the ring, man. The red and yellow, the music hits. This was
that was cool.
Prime Hogan.
You can see how over he was.
Yeah, everybody wanted to touch him. Everybody wanted to touch him. He had Mr. T in his corner. Roddy had Bob in his corner. Bob sold like crazy for Hulk in this match. We knew we eventually got to the Hulk up as usual. Orton's finisher was a superplex back then, so Hogan was kind of was kind of avoiding that throughout the match. Roddy ends up hitting Hulk on a pin attempt to DQ the match. So Mr. T and Paul Orndorff get in the ring to run off Orton and Piper here. So, by the way, the Fink's hair. It's kind of fun to see the Fink with hair.
Oh my
right?
gosh!
With hair, it's almost unnerving.
Yep.
Like
What's
looking
your
at
notes
Fink
for
with hair.
Hogan and Orton?
So, I wrote down because the promo beforehand. He goes, I said, Hulk is glad it's almost Mother's Day because he has a special match for his mother brother.
I wrote down that exact
Mother brother.
I was dying so much. Oh my god.
It was so good. I seriously wrote down mother brother made me laugh.
Brother.
Got a special thing for my mother brother.
So and I wrote down, how weird is it that fans are so grabby and touchy?
It's alarming.
Different times.
It's almost it's super uncomfortable.
It is.
I even before the pandemic, me personally, I didn't like people in my bubble.
Yeah, me
so
neither.
it's like, it's super weird, especially with the ladies. They're just grabby, and it's so weird.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I said whenever Piper and Mr. T started going at it, Piper absolutely no-sold the punches from Mr. T in the corner.
Yeah.
Mr. T was like giving it to him. Piper was like, he's just like.
That's why Piper's the best.
And it reminded me of the documentary, Roddy Piper's documentary, where they said they purposely tried to beat up Mr. T.
Mm-hmm.
For being a celebrity in the ring. And I said another thing too is Mr. T in other venue, in other things like the A-Team and such, he looks big, but next to these wrestlers, he looks so tiny.
He does. He looks like a mini
he was
person.
short. He was short.
Yeah.
He was short.
Well, plus Hogan is massive. He looks just massive. Like you were talking about, this is like classic Hogan. It really is like gigantic 24-inch python Hogan. He is unbelievably huge.
So what you gotta do when Hulk Hogan runs wild on you?
Eat steroids.
I love the grunting.
After every promo. Also, this
brother.
Mother brother. During that promo, there was also like the 100th "Let me tell you something" uttered during this 45 minutes, and that continues on through the 80s and 90s. Let me tell you something,
it's
Mean
like
Gene.
We have dead air. Let's go to Hogan real quick.
Let me tell you something, brother. Mother brother.
So I got anything else for this?
During this match, did you guys notice that one of the cameras is fucked? Like there's like little red dots.
Yes, and smears.
Is that just like a fucked up tape? Or I was so confused during that whole entire thing.
Yeah, back then it was on actual film, so it was,
yeah. I did
like that brown film.
So I noticed that, and I love the steps, like the ring steps. They're just like rickety wooden steps that's just like leaning against the ring. It's the first time I noticed them. So I've also I tried not to pay attention to it, but Hulk Hogan matches bore the fuck out of me. They because they're the same formula for 30 years, where Hogan gets beat down, Hogan hulks up, heel tries to punt, point. Heel tries to punch Hogan.
Yeah, it worked in that era. That's why he did it so daggum much.
It did, and going back, because as a kid, you probably love it. You're like Hulk Hogan, mother brother.
Yeah. They're very repetitive.
But Yeah, watching it back, I'm just like, oh, that was over and over and over and over and over. But I missed the they didn't get the hot dog and grandstand, or at least Hogan didn't after the match, and that was always my favorite cunty Hogan thing to do, was where he would hot dog and grandstand for 4 minutes after even losing a match. He would still be in the ring hot dogging and grandstanding, and we didn't get that. They cut to something else, and it made me sad.
Hogan must pose.
Yes, Hogan must pose.
Primo, you got anything before we move on?
No. Nothing else on this.
Next up, Madam. I wrote Madam Moolah, the fabulous Madam Moolah versus Wendy Richter with Cyndi Lauper. Cindy was awful here. Nails on a chalkboard for me on the microphone. One time she called it Wrestling Mania and not WrestleMania. Yeah. Like, I was like, all right, but it was funny kind of watching her be uncomfortable, come to the ring. Cops were elbowing people in the face as they come to the ring, as they try to grab the wrestlers. Cindy removed from ringside from a scroll like paper Moolah had.
Yeah. It was like rolled up and with a ribbon around it. By royal proclamation, Cyndi Lauper, who sounds like Betty Boop, is removed from ringside.
So she was removed by the scroll.
Royal decree.
The match was a seesaw battle. Quoted from Vince, actually. Moolah had heel tactics. Wendy ends up winning by a roll up. Who's the dude in the ring?
I could not figure it out.
He looked like he belonged in like a band or something.
Yes,
I don't either. Like, he was celebrating though. He was happy.
So random.
He looked like he was in the Bee, like he was like the fifth member of the Bee Gees that no one ever talked about.
Yes, or like Tom Petty's brother.
Like he was like Tim Petty.
Yeah. All right, well, knowing what we know about Moolah, let's put that to the side. Let's just talk about the match here.
Yeah. I at face value, I didn't even bring that up, but I did say, because she's an old lady. You give it I wrote it down.
Yeah.
She was 62 years old in this matchup.
In 85.
God.
I wrote down, Fabulous Moolah looks like a grandma that sits in a coffee shop every morning and smokes a pack and a half of Misties while reeking of perfume. But on the other hand, I also said, once again, fans are so touchy and annoying when it comes to Cyndi Lauper and Wendy Richter. Yes. And I said it was hilarious the way they read the decree about Cyndi Lauper with the scroll, just like you mentioned. That part had me laughing so much, because nowadays they just say like, general manager said you're banned. But they had this scroll in the middle of the ring like it was a major announcement.
Yes.
And I also want to say she was banned from the arena floor. So I was thinking in my head, like, why didn't they have her stand on the ring apron?
Yeah, I mean, that's not the...
Yeah, right. Instead, she watched the match in the concourse.
Right.
Right, yeah. Yeah, God, like when she talked, though, I was like, like, Cindy was Girls Want to Have Fun, was real big, MTV, so she was, getting the rock and roll and the wrestling there. So, yeah, pretty cool. Any other notes for that?
So I have that, apart from Cyndi Lauper talking like Betty Boop, but not like Betty Boop, but like Betty Boop from like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's just anytime she spoke, that's what I heard. And then I liked the promo from Wendy Richter, who was like yuck. Like it's very I don't even know, like just you. I'm the champ, yuck.
Reminds me of the buzzers from Looney Tunes.
Yes, I kind of like Wendy Richter's entrance music. I don't know why. I think it was ahead of its time.
But I have a picture of my dad with Wendy Richter. He met her one time.
Really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's kind of hot.
Speaking of Wendy Richter, how small was that women's title?
Yes, God.
It was like
it was smaller than the toy championships they sell today.
Yes,
it was.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely was. So,
why did they have a scroll?
Pretty wild, though. All right, let's move on next, boys. JYD, the Junkyard Dog, with his mom, Bertha. Hang on. Everybody, grab them cakes. Our boy Junkyard Dog comes out with his mom, Bertha, to wish moms a happy birthday. Grab them cakes, hits. JYD versus the Duke of Dorchester.
Duke of Dorchester.
Pete Doherty, which I loved watching this guy wrestle. Oh man, he tried to get himself over in this match, did he not? He was playing. He was working, trying to work the crowd here. Of course, JYD goes over with classic JYD stuff. Did you see? Could you read JYD's lips? I don't think the finish went off as planned. He said, "I fucked up." At the end. He was talking to the ref. As he picked up his hand, he said, "I fucked up." But it was pretty amazing here. JYD and his mom with the interview.
His mama.
Nervous.
His mama. Oh,
Junkyard Dog, man. A lot of people call Junkyard Dog the Hulk Hogan of the Mid-South.
Fuck yes.
Because he was that damn over in the Mid-South. And that's right in Texas, man. So
awesome. He
was over big time back then. He was a big time player. What'd you guys think about the Junkyard Dog match
So I really enjoyed the match itself. JYD is super cool. It's fun to see him. The only real note I had was JYD's mama, way to guilt trip the man on television.
Yes, I know, right?
Saying, I hope he can come home soon.
He's like, "Oh, Mom, I'm making the next town."
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love the. Sorry, Primo, if you did it right.
That's all I had. Yeah.
So first of all, I love the like. I could not understand a word that JY. He talks so fast.
Yeah.
That he's seriously like hamina. But then his mom was like.
Yeah.
He
said, "I'm gonna get on there and I'm gonna the Junkyard Dog." He wore the chains around his neck.
Yeah.
I loved him, man. He was fantastic.
Oh,
man.
I love JYD.
Man, and he looked like one of those dudes that you'd want to protect you.
When he was coming out to the ring, I was like, "Oh god damn it! There's JYD's doodle." I was like, "Come on, we're cut people." Also, the Duke of Dorchester, he sells, like when he sells, it sounds like Homer Simpson having a night terror. Yes. In case you don't get that reference, I have the audio. I'll hold up for you.
What's wrong with him now, Bart? Night terrors, ma'am.
That is the Duke of Dorchester selling. Like at one point he was like, "Ooh," and I was like, "This is amazing."
This was good stuff, man. I love that the jobbers back then had these kind of names. Like they were legendary in Dorchester. You know
it wasn't just Mike of Chicago.
Right. Like you might be the Duke of Dorchester, but your ass is getting whooped in Nassau Coliseum.
Like if he goes back to Dorchester, everyone like gives him like this big welcome home. Like the Duke of Dorchester has returned.
He wrestled JYD.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up here. Final thing as we go.
This is fun.
Mother's Day celebration here on Saturday night's main event. Hulk's mom is there. Moolah shows up looking like a Power Ranger. She was forward thinking there. She comes out. There's words between her and Mean Gene Okerlund. I don't think this spot went as planned, but they were supposed to fall in the cake. And
Mean Gene into the cake.
Yeah, he took the brunt of that.
Yeah,
cake.
he took most of the cake there. Yeah,
put him in it. Yeah,
yeah. So funny little set there to end. And everybody, all the wrestlers that are there that had their moms. So Jesse and Vince.
I put down Freddie Blassie's mother, Laura.
Yes.
Yeah, who was like 27.
Yes, she was very young looking.
And then I said, it's also hilarious that they're having this party, because this is back in, 85?
85.
Okay, so it's hilarious they're having this party with all the faces and the hills.
Yeah.
Together.
I know, yeah. It's like everybody's putting their things aside for mom.
Yeah, I said Moolah walks out looking like a walking disco ball.
Yes.
She sounded like Cartman, too, from South Park.
So Jesse and Vince close the show. What you got here, boys, right before we finish?
By the way, really quick, I like that the Iron Sheik had like a little pink party cup. That made me laugh. And I really wanted like Mama Sheiky. I thought that would be amazing if he had his mom on, but missed opportunities.
Yep. Very cool there. That was fun. I love when the boys on the podcast here watch some old wrestling. So fun stuff, man. That was the very first episode of Saturday Night's Main Event. We will continue next week as Primo is going to take the lead on this one. We're going to fill you in here so you can follow along and check it out before next week's pod. October the 3rd, 1987. This is a popular Saturday Night's Main Event because this is where the Mega Powers were formed. Hogan and Macho. Yep, this eventually led to the famous Handshake Brothers.
The contrived.
Yeah.
Liz with her tiny skirt and stuff.
Primo's going to take us through that one next week on the show. So yeah, that was fun, boys. Enjoyed that.
Oh, I loved every minute of that show.
It was very enjoyable.
It was amazing.
All right, couple notes here before we get to promo school and square circle questions, guys. Current wrestling, Full Gear Survivor Series is this month. What's your expectations? Quick expectations for both. And obviously, we're going to be down on WWE. Can they deliver? As this is going to be one of the big four.
No.
AJ starts.
No. Go ahead.
No?
SmackDown versus Raw. SmackDown's going to dominate because that's the A show now. Predictable. It's going to be boring as fuck. Full Gear is going to absolutely kill it. As the hot streak for AEW will continue, the downward trajectory of WWE will continue. I have no hope for WWE at this point, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, it I think AEW obviously they'll definitely win the November rating, but as far as Survivor Series goes, it annoys me that they're doing the whole brand versus brand thing.
Me too.
Just make it back to traditional Survivor Series. With a storyline where it has to lead up to a 5-on-5 matchup or whatever, but don't just because I just don't like stuff being so forced, like predictably forced. You know, like it has to be these 5 from Raw, these 5 from SmackDown, or fucking Big E versus Roman because they're from Raw and SmackDown. Like, come on,
sure, yeah.
Like they haven't even started to build for any of it really yet,
right?
And
it's just a few weeks away.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. All right, boys. So Halloween just passed. Let's talk about, what are some of your favorite masked wrestlers?
Mm-hmm.
How about Kamala for me? La Parka.
I did love with his.
I love the Great Kabuki.
I didn't even think of the Great Kabuki.
My boy, the Shockmaster. Come on, give me some. What do you guys got?
Oh, okay.
He's all of our boys.
I mean, I like all the luchadors. I like Hoovy. I like Ray.
Yeah.
I like
Jushin Thunder Liger, whose sticker is right here on my printer.
Courtesy of me.
Yes,
Ultimate Dragon. I'm a big fan of Ultimate Dragon.
I do like Dragon.
Muda.
One of my more current, Mil Muertes in MLW. Big fan of his.
Killswitch, thank you.
Wrestler.
Psychosis. I was trying to think of Psychosis.
Oh yeah,
Psychosis. Yeah, very nice. Yeah,
I liked Santos Escobar whenever he was King Cuerno, and also whenever he's El Fantasma.
Yep.
Hijo del Fantasma.
I liked Hoovy a lot too until I found out that he was an absolute asshole outside of the ring, though.
Yep.
He was a kid. He was young. Shit.
Yep. Primo, your boy Kane. He's
Kane. Oh yeah.
I guess Kane.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I was over here thinking luchadors.
Mask.
Kane.
Yeah, you think mask? Face paint. Sting.
Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior can go fuck himself.
AJ Styles wore a mask once in Tokyo.
He counts.
He counts.
Hulk Hogan wore a mask as Mr.
Mr. America. We knew it was him. So did Miz as the Canadian dude.
What about the Blue Bomber? Owen Hart.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Masked
Sting.
Masked
Did we
wrestler.
say Sting?
We did say Sting.
Darby Allin.
And does his count though? He's only half.
Yeah, he halfway counts.
We need
All right,
another half
so
to make it complete.
Dark Side of the Ring was about the steroid era trials. Did you guys get to check this one out?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was it Jerry McDivitt, the famous lawyer?
Yeah,
pretty cool. He was on the show.
It was
I can't
basically
believe he was on it.
It was basically putting him over the whole show.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. This man
how
handled
cunty-
business.
Hulk Hogan, God, he is a dick.
Basically, Hulk
Jesus
Hogan being
Christ.
like, "I saved him."
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty wild there.
Hulk Hogan's like, if it wasn't for me, Vince would have been buried.
Yeah.
I mean, which is not true.
There's some truth to it. There's some, given the circumstances. Okay, but don't be a dick.
I didn't like this one as much because I knew way more about the steroid trials than I did about Luna Vachon or the Flight from Hell. This one I was like I'm a little checked out just because I
it's a
know
little reminder of what we kind of already knew about Vince getting off in those. But this was the season finale, I believe. But next week we're going to cover a documentary of Daniel Makabe, who is a former guest of the show, former Scenic City Invitational winner in 2019. Very cool guy. We see him wrestle all the time. One of our favorite indie wrestlers right now. He has a documentary on Independent Wrestling TV where he carried around a camera for a while. I think they're going to do this with a lot of the wrestlers. So he ended up, it was about an hour-long documentary of the life of Daniel Makabe and what he is doing. So we're going to review that next week. AJ, you pumped up for that, man?
Yes, very, very pumped up for that.
It's going to be a good doc, man, I'm sure.
It's going to be so interesting. Not only because it's Makabe, who was fucking awesome and we love him here, but it'll be like a behind the scenes of
friend of the pod.
Yes. But we'll get to go backstage of all these indie shows and what it's like back there and everything that I just think it'll be fascinating. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
I do too, man. All right, so let's get to promo school with The Rock. I thought it was time to bring the great one into promo school to teach us about what it's really like to talk them into the seats, to sell tickets, push that merch. Primo. I mean,
in front of
Rock's
the millions.
And millions
of Primo's fans out there. Your 205th day champion. The great one, Primo. That is me.
How did this become about him? I was doing a Rock thing here.
Because it's Primo.
Yeah. So anyway, getting back to The Rock. This particular one right here was promo was from September the 6th, 1999, from Hartford, Connecticut. This was a classic Monday night promo on the Big Red Machine Kane. He's going to make a lot of fun of the way Kane talks here. Check it out, man. This is a classic.
My name's Kane.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Hartford.
Listen, sing along with The Rock.
Don't laugh at The Rock's jokes.
Kane, you think you impress The Rock when your music hits, all the lights go out, you got fire coming out of the post, fire shooting out of your ass, you got fire coming out of everywhere. And then all of a sudden, you're doing jumping jacks. You're happy because Kane can talk. The Big Red can finally speak.
I think you say cocksucker.
I thought it was son of a bitch.
Good stuff, yeah.
Well, Kane, The Rock says this. He's in a giving mood tonight. You come on out here. The Rock's got a little gift for you. He'll give you this microphone right here so you can talk in front of the millions
and millions
of Rock's fans. Take your little voice gimmick, stick it to your throat, and say this. My name is Kane.
Rocky.
I love it so much.
And I am a Rudy Poo
Candy ass.
Candy ass.
He's about to close
it. And The Rock says this, Kane, that little voice box you used to use, you've left The Rock with one choice on what to do with it. The Rock says he'll take your little voice box, take all the batteries out, lube it up, turn that some sideways, and stick it straight up.
You candy ass.
The fact that he says lube it up.
If you smell what The Rock.
Oh, he made him wait. Eyebrow.
I look deranged when I do
is
that.
cooking.
How awesome was that,
Oh,
right?
I love The Rock so much.
That is,
I-
man.
How have we not had anything from The Rock on here before? Because he is the best. He's just the best. He's
He
better
is.
than Jake the Snake. He's better than Ric Flair. He's the
That's
best.
why I say he's the GOAT, man. I was making you wait there. So Promo School was backed by The Rock, man. Love it. That was a really good one there. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. So all right, boys, you guys ready to play a little game?
No.
No. Well, you're actually the reigning defending champion still. Squared Circle Questions is back. What we do here is we have three categories: wrestler, pay-per-view, and wrestling potpourri, which is just a question off the top. Well, not off the top of my hand. I have a prepared question, but three categories. 2 questions out of 3 gets the dub. AJ's been the champ here for quite a while, so they will pick the category. I will spit the facts.
In a while.
He hasn't had to defend it in a while now, but
Hey, I've defended it like 10 times.
can say the same for you, Primo.
Mr. One defense so far.
All right, boys, let's have some fun here. Here we go. AJ, you're the champ. Pick a category: wrestler, pay-per-view, or potpourri.
Wrestler.
All right, wrestler. Let's go. Born July 18th, 1963. I'm going to wait to give you his hometown because I think it would give it away here, but all right, next up, accolades as a wrestler. He wrestled in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, ECW, and WWE. He was a road agent for TNA. He bought Ohio Valley Wrestling in 2018, and he currently lives in Louisville, Kentucky.
You son of a
From
bitch.
Lima, Ohio. The answer is Al Snow. Let me finish with my he was also known as Avatar, Leaf Cassidy, Shinobi, Diamond Dave, the Masked Ninja. He competed as a jobber in 1993 under the name Steve Moore, and he lost his first 2 WWF debuts to Jannetty and The Undertaker.
Nice.
What does
nice
everybody
guy.
want?
He competed as Leaf Cassidy in the New Rockers with Marty Jannetty. Wow, I had a lot of stats here. Member of the Job Squad. He carried a head around. And what does everybody want?
Head. I watched watched a movie, obviously not for
What does everybody want?
movie of the week that he was in. It was like a horror movie. It was like a backyard horror movie that Al Snow just randomly was in. And it was I was like, what? Al Snow? It was great.
So anytime you see a fake head like that, you always think Al Snow, right?
Yeah,
Like
every time.
Like wrestling's everywhere. All right, Primo, you're up, man. You only need one out of these last 2. You want pay-per-view or potpourri?
Potpourri.
All right, potpourri, guys. You're going to need pen and paper for this one. I might have to do some math, but we'll see here. All right, so pen and paper, you guys have about 5 seconds to answer. Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, Mania. The very first WrestleMania was held in New York City, Madison Square Garden. Hulk Hogan, Mr. T, we just talked about it, versus Piper and Orndorff.
Orndorff.
The question, how many people were in attendance that night? 5 seconds. How many people were in attendance at WrestleMania 1? Closest wins. All right, reveal. Primo's answer is 90,000. AJ's answer is 22,000. The answer is 19,121.
90,000.
19.
AT&T Stadium.
Yes.
How many people do you think Madison Square Garden holds?
I don't get out much.
All right, this is the way I like it. We come down to the tiebreaker. All right.
And it's pay-per-view, which we both miss all the time.
It is pay-per-view. This is the hardest one. I have reconciled the rules a little bit. You guys just have to pick the pay-per-view. You don't have to pick the year. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Interesting fact right here right off the bat. Your first answer is your answer, boys. If you guys both answer wrong, I might let you go for a second round here to keep it going. All right, here we go. The last pay-per-view held of this name was on May 17th, 2009 at the Allstate Arena in Chicago. There was 14,822 people there. Umaga defeated CM Punk. Christian defeated Jack Swagger. John Morrison defeated Shelton Benjamin. Rey Mysterio defeated Y2J for the Intercontinental Belt. Batista defeated RKO, Randy Orton. Cena defeated The Big Show. And your main event, Edge retained the World Heavyweight title against Jeff Hardy after a Edge execution
I'm
off
gonna
the top rope.
say No Way Out.
In Your House.
Try again. Remember, this is one they don't have anymore. So.
Armageddon.
Good answer.
Unforgiven.
Yeah.
Another good answer. I also went to this pay-per-view in 1997. We've talked about this before. Not this particular one, but this actual pay-per-view.
Battleground.
Nope.
Fuck.
Great American Bash.
No.
Bash at the beach.
Okay, this pay-per-view relates to
Bad Blood.
A court happening.
Judgment Day.
Capital Punishment.
Judgment Day. Both of those should be right. Both of those should be right. That's great. Oh, that's fantastic, boys. Oh, that is so funny. Technically, AJ is the winner, but we're all winners on this one because that was hilarious. Both of those answers were phenomenal. So AJ will retain as your squared circle questions champion. All right, it's time to close the show. I want to thank Coastland Apparel. Use promo code BirdTV for 15% off your order. Primo, tell the masses, where can they get the Sit Down Marks podcast?
Well, masses, marks of masses of marks, I will tell you where you can get the Sit Down Marks podcast featuring DB, Primo, and AJ. That's us three. Right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/DirtyBird33. That's Dirty Bird with 2 eyes. Also, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, and also on SportsWire Online Radio live on Friday evening, 6:45 Eastern Standard Time, right before the Thomas Bright show.
Number one. No,
That's right.
I'm getting a little better at it.
Number one.
The number one.
Don't forget to give us a 5-star review.
That's if he was a singer.
If you download the pod and also share with 200 of your friends. Thank you, and see you next week.
All right, AJ, it's time to update your UFC or MMA weekend picks of the week. You shit the bed again last week. You went a dismal 1-4.
Fuck yeah.
So that brings your total to 9-12 on the season. I don't remember which one you got right. I think it was the Volkov. Volkov. Yeah, you missed all the rest of them. So
God damn it.
Yeah, so it's time for you to get back in order here. Let's make our picks for this week. Let's talk about big UFC pay-per-view this weekend. Edgar versus Vera.
Edgar.
Burgos versus Corntillo.
Burgos.
Gaethje versus Chandler.
Gaethje.
Namahamas versus Whaley.
Namahamas.
I believe that's how I say it. Rose is her first name.
Rose Namajunas.
Nama Yunus.
All right, main event, big one here. Usman versus Covington.
Covington.
All right.
Shit, Primo, you didn't give me any reaction for any of those.
Well, here's the deal.
I have to give
AJ picks UFC MMA because he knows nothing about it, so that's why we're keeping a running tally on him. And so
12.
we're bringing
Fuck
in
off.
Primo here, as me and him are both big MMA fans. I've asked Primo to help all the gamblers listening to the podcast. Help them make that money, Primo. We're going to have you pick one lock every week to an MMA card. Looking at the card this weekend, I mean, it's a big card. We're going to be watching it. Who's your lock to win?
I'd say my lock. I give you a lock and a sleeper. So a lock for me in this card specifically. You can't go against my girl Thug Rose Namajunas. She's gonna take out Zhang Weili.
Okay.
Thug Rose.
I knew that one.
She's gonna take it, and also just real quick as a bonus round for you guys. A sleeper. Don't sleep on my boy Frankie Edgar. I know he's been in the game a long time. Marlon Vera is a -175 favorite. But Frankie Edgar always has that fight in him. So you don't ever want to sleep on him.
Did I pick Edgar or Vera for that one?
You pick Edgar for that
you
one.
Picked both people I just said.
Yeah.
All right. So
I know.
So Primo's lock of the week is Rose versus Weili, and his sleeper is Edgar. So we'll come back next week and see how we did here. AJ, what's going on the pod next week?
Next week, we, of course, are going to be discussing that Daniel Makabe documentary. Can't wait to see that. Saturday night main event where, spoilers, the Mega Powers form. Next, also, wow, I just drew a blank there. All your recaps, reactions, news, notes, shenanigans, going off the rails, birthdays, cake grabbing, type dealies.
Marcus is going to be on the show next week.
Yes, he will.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the week after. My bad. Beef is going to be on the show.
There it is.
It's going to be talking to Big Beef.
Potentially.
So, yeah, potentially. So, all right, guys, any quick notes here before we head out? Tribute to the Troops is going to be November the 14th, which I think is on a Saturday this year. So,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then the other thing, did you guys see the little Britt Baker, Sasha Banks little Twitter thing they got going on? Sasha made a tweet of "The boss will see you now." And,
interesting.
And Britt quote tweeted it and said, "The doctor will see you now," and it was like a link to buy her shirts and stuff. So so yeah,
nice.
So some nice little. Back and forth there. So, all right, boys, awesome pod here today. You guys got anything?
Yes. Trick Daddy has lupus.
Like the real Trick Daddy?
Yeah, he has lupus.
Oh,
I looked him up like when we were talking about Trick Daddy, and I wanted to throw in that little tidbit that he has lupus. That's sad. It's not a fun disease.
All right, Primo, you got anything before we finish up here?
No, that's it for tonight. Thank you to all the marks out there for listening to us once again. Episode 35. Can't believe we come this far. One more episode. We're in episode 36, and that is so awesome. So thanks again, and we will see you next week.
All right, AJ, we're going to finish up the show a little uniquely here today. Go ahead and take us home, Daddy.
As JYD's doodle probably says, grab them cakes.
Dance in my neighborhood. Now everybody's doing it because it feels so good. All you need is a partner that know how to move, and the rest is real easy. You just dig your groove. And when you get yourself started, it's hard to start. You just go for your partners. You know what? And then you GRABTAG.
One more time, AJ.
Grab them cakes.